Goddamn.
Goddamn is right, man. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of NHP, and welcome back to another edition, more specifically, of NHP Unscripted, man. This is episode 268 of the Tuesdays show, where we talk Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, and AEW Dynamite, man. How's everybody doing? Thank you guys so very much for joining us here today for another edition of Unscripted. And thank you guys, as always, for joining us for another one, man. So, if this is your first time watching, guys, do not know how the show works. Every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Central, we are on here with Unscripted. Every Friday at 3 p.m. Central, we are on here with the news. And for the pay-per-views for both WWE and AEW, we are live directly after the show goes off the air with the official post-show review. Speaking of which, this Saturday morning, we will have a episode of the post-show review for WWE, obviously, that being Crown Jewel. The show starts at 7 o'clock Central Time, so I would assume we would be on here at about 10:30 or 11, depending on how long WWE plans to have the show run, which, again, typically is like 3 hours. So if we're lucky, maybe around like 10 o'clock, but I'm thinking like 10:30 or 11 for that. So we will be live this Saturday for that. Just a heads up for you guys, if you guys do need something to watch after Crown Jewel, man, you want to hear our thoughts on the post-show review. It should be a very interesting show, being the card that they have for it. So we will see how that goes. But with that being said, if you guys did miss this past Friday's edition of the news, that is available for you guys on all platforms. That is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and if you want to see it first, join us right here live Friday at 3 p.m. Central with the news, man. Also, if you guys have not got a chance to get your hands on some of the official NHP merchandise, you guys can now find this live on the merch shop. That is bonfire.com. Links at the top of the description of this very video, man, where you can find this beautiful piece of Notorious Heels merchandise live on there as we speak, man. Again, link is at the top of the description of this very video. That is bonfire.com, man. Also, if this is your first time watching and you guys do not know who we are here at Notorious Heels, I am Johnny, one half of the host of this very show, and as for the other half, we got my man Sir K here. Sir K, go ahead and tell everybody what it is you're smiling about today.
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Got this weekend coming up. I'm excited. Saturday, it's gonna be a good day, man. I'm excited for Crown Jewel, and then the rest of the weekend, man. So, very excited. Crown Jewel looking pretty solid, man. I think. One match looks really fucking good, and the rest of the show looks pretty cool. But technically, it's kind of a low-key one-match show so far. But I'm excited. I'm excited nonetheless for that specific match at the least. So excited. I'm doing good. Like Durante always asks, how's life? How's the family? Life's good. Family's good. How is everybody doing in the live chat? How's everyone doing watching the replay? What about you, bro? How are you doing?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad. Just yeah, nothing too much, dude. Nothing too much. Just big weekend coming up. And then this past weekend didn't really do too much. Progress a little bit in Dying Light. That's basically about it, man. Basically about it. So, once again, I definitely do apologize for the gaming stream this past Saturday. That was a very sucky situation. I was gonna private the video. Because it was an hour and 24 minutes of a bunch of tomfoolery. But at the end of the day, man, sometimes you can't hide your flaws, man. Sometimes you can't hide your flaws.
Exactly.
So it is what it is. The reason I kept it up is thanks to this man right here. So I appreciate my guy Gotti for coming in
Genuinely.
and giving us some sort of conversation to go off. Because if he wasn't there, keeping a steady conversation,
Ooh,
it probably just would have been the both of us raging about our lobbies kicking us out. So gotta appreciate my guy Gotti, man. So yeah. But other than that, nothing too much, man. Nothing too much. Just like you said, big weekend coming
no,
up. So nothing other than that, bro. However, as for you guys, as Durante always asks, I am good. Family's good. What about you, Durante, Logan, Bell, and the one and only, the owner of GDR Finances LLC? We have Mr. Walk him down and cut they shiz off, Mister. Walk him down and run that marathon, Mister. Walk him down and cook that shit up. We have the man, the myth, the legend. We have Gotti in the house, bro. How are you doing? And it seems he's not doing good. He says he woke up a few hours ago throwing up. Says he feels like shit. He hopes that we're doing better than he is. Well, man, I don't hope
sucks,
that.
man.
I don't hope that. I hope you get better. I hope you get better, man. And yeah, I hope whatever made you sick is going away soon, because
Gonna pass.
that definitely sucks.
Exactly. Not the
Uh
worst.
Crazy enough, can't even remember the last time I threw up. It's a horrible feeling, though. I definitely remember the feeling. I
I
was,
can, unfortunately.
yeah,
It's the,
I was a kid when it
oh yeah.
happened. I was a kid when it happened, but it's definitely not my favorite feeling in the
Oh damn.
world. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
Mm-mm.
But
It's I can't stand it.
yeah, yeah. No, that feeling is definitely, ugh, it's the worst. It's the worst, bro. But yeah, I am doing pretty good, man. And I hope my guy Gotti gets better, bro. So, um, good lord. Well, to start us off here today, we have the usual.
The greatest show.
Well, the worst part about this one is that they hyped it up like it was going to be a great show, because this is the AEW Dynamite 6-year anniversary show. Um uh let's just say this is this is a very random show for a Dynamite 6-year anniversary. It just, I don't know, man. It was just Tony Khan. It was just Tony Khan being Tony Khan at the end of the day, putting a bunch of random fucking matches together, just to get a bunch of big names on the show so he can tout that it was a big show. That is
Exactly.
that is, I guess, the only way. That is, I guess, the only way that you can describe the Dynamite 6-year anniversary, man. It was a bunch of just Tony Khan randomness, and you'll know what I'm talking about, shortly. But yeah, I mean, the show, the show was the show was very, I mean, it really only had one semi interesting moment on it that they killed right after that. So this episode of Dynamite, your 6-year anniversary episode of Dynamite, 6 years of Dynamite, man. How you feeling about that?
It is crazy, dude. It is crazy. No matter how, good or bad Dynamite is, especially lately with how fucking pointless it is. It's crazy. It's been 6 years, man. Dynamite was really good for a few years, man. And I still overall, I'm not a fan of Dynamite, but it leads to good pay-per-view. Well, it doesn't really lead to the pay-per-views, but we get good pay-per-views. Um, but Dynamite is crazy. Does not feel like 6 years. 6 years is a crazy time frame. It does not feel like we've been watching AEW for 6.5 years at this point, dude. It's crazy. Glad they made it to 6. I know they're gonna make it more, whether what people like it or not. They're gonna make it
Oh, dude,
more, and
they're gonna close
it's
doors tomorrow.
crazy. Closing doors, dude. Those definitely closing doors. They're hiding the ratings. They're gonna close the doors. But Yeah, man, it's crazy. It doesn't feel like 6 years, man. But what about you?
Yeah, it definitely is crazy, like you said. No matter how good or how bad AEW Dynamite is on the weekly, it definitely is a crazy stat, and it definitely is an impressive stat for AEW to be able to say that they have been around for 6 years, man. They have been around for 6 years. Again, a lot of people, it obviously outlasted Nitro earlier this year, I think. And it definitely is crazy that, they made it this long. They're here to stay. They're not going anywhere. AEW is a true alternative to the sport. And they, you know, again, um, no matter how good or bad some people might think the product is, man, it's an awesome situation that AEW exists. And it's very cool that a lot of the talent get another big name wrestling company to sign. Again, a lot of people can say, Tony Khan kills careers, and for some cases that is the case. However, there are a lot of people on the other side of the coin that have had nothing but positives come out of an AEW run, and the list is long.
Mhm.
The list is long, right? You can
Mhm.
look at John Moxley. What would he have done in WWE with no AEW? Chris Jericho would probably be retired. If which,
Mhm.
nowadays, that probably is the ideal
That'd be
case.
a
But
thankful thing,
in
but
in in early AEW, he had a lot of good stuff going on. Brian Danielson. Brian Danielson
you know,
probably just would have stayed in WWE, and WWE just would have continued to make the man a nostalgia act. So that's, you know,
oh yeah,
um, again, there's cases like Moxley and Bryan and Jericho. You can look at some of the newer names like a Swerve Strickland or a Tony Storm. Um, again, going back to some of the OGs, you could look at what it's done for a guy like Bobby Lashley, MVP, Shelton Benjamin. All these guys have had a place to go and thrive. All these guys and girls have had a place to go and thrive because of AEW. And it's awesome to see that they've made 6 years. Again, wasn't the greatest show on the planet, but when is Dynamite ever really the greatest show on the planet? But what I'm trying to say is we should all be thankful for AEW, and regardless on how much you don't like AEW because of how unlike they are from WWE, you should be happy that there is an alternative, and you should be happy that, and honestly too, everybody does rag on AEW for this and that, but I mean, I you do have to appreciate, um again, whether you like it or not, you do have to appreciate that it is different from WWE.
it is.
Again, a lot of times you can bang your head on the wall because you want them to tell more stories. But at the end of the day, sometimes it is nice to just have something that's just presented a little different. Stories, I wouldn't say is one of my things. I would say that's the main thing. I do think AEW needs to do a better job at doing that. One of my things about AEW that I really like, that a lot of people don't like, is a lot of the gory stuff we see on AEW, because we don't come close to seeing that on WWE. And it's like, a lot of people hate on AEW for that, but honestly, that's one of the things I like the most, is they're not afraid to, get a little gory. They're not afraid to dip into the death match wrestling, which again, a lot of people think doesn't have a place on television, but I think it does. I think there's a market for any kind of wrestling genre
Yeah,
in the sport of wrestling. So it is what it is something that should be appreciated, that I think is underappreciated, and those are the kind of things I think, like, if AEW went away, like, we wouldn't get to see any more of that.
oh yeah,
And I think Tony
I hope
Khan.
that shit.
Oh, 100%. I think Tony Khan does a great job at letting wrestlers express their genre of wrestling that they like to do. You also have to appreciate AEW for not being as corporate as WWE. You have to appreciate Tony Khan for
Mm.
actually letting his wrestlers be themselves. So there's a lot to appreciate for AEW, but I just wanted to say a couple good words about AEW because a lot of times a lot of people get lost in the sauce, and let's not fucking forget, people, WWE is not fucking doing so hot these days as it is. Neither is AEW, but WWE is not doing so fucking hot as it is. But just wanted to say a couple nice words about AEW and just remind you guys, man, that they're, regardless on how much the show fucking sucks, and trust me, I know because I fucking watch it every week. There is a lot to appreciate with AEW.
There, there's a lot to appreciate with the people, the type of wrestling they do, and just how like real it feels. A lot of times, it actually feels like you're watching real people, most of the time, and that's really a nice difference from WWE, where sometimes flenderization can get so bad you're watching a walking catchphrase half the time. There's a lot of positives with AEW. And speaking of John Moxley, I think it was a few days ago he hit the statistic of he's been in AEW longer than he was in WWE,
No
which is
way.
crazy to think. Yeah, I think I saw a post a few days ago that he hit that milestone. He's been in AEW longer than he was in WWE. It's crazy.
Wow. So he
Yeah,
was
I'll
in.
have to find that post.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Damn.
So, and you get people like Moxley, who's a completely different person from what he was and who
Man.
he was in WWE. And for the better, dude. And for the better. And AEW bettered a lot of careers, made a lot of careers. And yeah, they might have dropped some, a couple big ones, but
Oof.
they also made a lot at the same time. And that's guilty of any wrestling company. WWE does the same thing. Unfortunately, there's people you love, you want to see, and for some reason they just drop the ball. It's not an AEW
Dragon
exclusive
Tire.
thing here. Exactly. LA Knight. Again, any women's world champion. But I do love AEW, and I am thankful that it's here, dude.
Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of people would probably be upset with us for these comments we just made, man. They can't seem to fathom that there's two functioning wrestling promotions.
Two companies.
Um,
No, they hate it.
so we got fire bars in the house, bro. Shout out Sir K.
What's up, man? How you doing? Thank you. Thank you.
For sure, bro, for sure. Um,
I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult, but I'm gonna take it as a compliment.
so I would think that's a good thing. If somebody says you have a radio tone, I feel like that's a compliment. I would
It's-
think. I would think.
I feel so. I feel so. I think so. I'm assume so. I'm just gonna assume no matter what.
Sir, we got the legend Sir K in the house, bro. We all know what he's legendary for.
It is October.
We got oh god. Gotti says Gotti Gotti says he says without AEW, Danielson stays retired. WWE was never gonna clear him. That's why he went to A. You know what? I did say that. That's actually a great assumption. Yeah, because I was moving. And you know what? You could probably say that. We could probably say that with his. You could probably say that with people like Edge as well. You could probably
Yeah.
say. You could probably say that at AEW. Well, you know what though? New Japan was so hot at the time. I feel like even if Vince would have heard he was off to New Japan, he might have
I feel like
budged.
he would have.
Maybe.
I think. Yeah,
Maybe.
I think with Danielson, he was eventually gonna buzz anyway or budge anyway. Um, but like Edge, you can say Danielson.
Yeah.
It's crazy how many like people were able to actually like wrestle again just because of AEW's existence.
Look at Christian, bro. That's another huge name
Hmm.
of a career revital. Christian is a legend in this, but think about this. Christian is an absolute legend in this business. He's again, he's a part of one of the greatest tag teams of all time. It's like countless, just historic matches. A landmark match, in the TLC match, and that man's best work of his entire career came from his run in AEW. Think about that, bro.
It's crazy.
That's
Even he says like his work in AEW is his favorite of his. Look at Sting. Sting
oh my
got one of
god.
the probably the best fucking retirement run you could ask for, dude. And he got it in AEW, dude. And he wouldn't have got that in a place like
No.
WWE.
If it was
God no.
if it were up to WWE, Sting's last memory in a WWE ring would have been getting buckle bombed, his neck having his neck buckle bombed into oblivion, and that would have been it. That would have been it for the Stinger. But no, that's that. I'm glad you brought Sting up too. That's another ginormous name that was never going to get the farewell tour because he was never a WWE guy. And as a matter of fact, and you can just watch by his watching his farewell run in WWE, they hated him. They hated the guy because he never wanted to go to WWE. And they hated him
Mhm.
for it. So you look at Sting, in all my years of wrestling, watching wrestling, Sting has had my favorite old guy run of all time. I fucking
Oh,
loved
easy.
Sting's farewell tour. It was like what was that? Like 2020 to 2023, was it? Or 20 no, it was
Like,
2024,
2020
early 2024, I
yeah,
want to say.
early
Um
2024.
Right. So it was about, I think he came in late 2020, I want to say it. No. No. It was Revolution
Wait,
2020. So, yeah, it was Revolution 2020
yeah.
to so early 2020 to early 2024. His farewell tour was about 4 years, and it was fucking awesome, dude. I mean, this old dude was dead ass out there doing Chris Benoit headbutts on diving headbutts
Going through glass.
dude, glass. Again, Benoit headbutts onto 4 tables off of an arena tunnel. I mean, this man was going crazy, bro. And the theme song, bro. I mean, how much badassery does Sting have, bro? I mean,
Come
coming
on,
out to
bro.
seek and destroy, that is just that is an absolutely goated. That is an absolutely goated man right there. And we have AEW to thank for that, bro. But um so Gotti says he's super excited about NXT NA Showdown. I will not be watching. I will probably watch the highlights
They'll play
after.
back.
Yeah, I'll probably
Yeah,
watch. I'll
but I
probably
like
probably watch the playback on that, but I will not be watching live. But uh, uh I don't know. I hope Mike Santana ends up getting himself a TNA World Championship. And I hope he
I
drops it
hope
so he
so.
can go
I
ahead and
hope
come over to WWE so they can replace Damian Priest. So
exactly.
that's all I got. No.
He's everything they think Damian Priest is and more, dude. Literally, out of this whole NXT showdown, whatever it is, the two people I hope benefit the most, Mike Santana, Mustafa Ali. Genuinely, those two are the ones I want to see doing great out of this.
For
And I
sure.
know all of TNA is going to lose, so at least give me one win and give me either Mike Santana or Mustafa Ali, please.
I seen they made the special guest referee for the TNA versus NXT 5-on-5. I heard they made him I heard they made the special guest referee the two-timer himself, the cheater, the contract tamperer, Joe Henry. I heard
No way.
Joe Henry Joe Henry is he's the official for the match.
Look at that. You got the WWE situationship going on, and I think we know who he's going to choose at the end of the day. Uh, fucking hilarious, dude. He might as well just contract tamper at this point.
Yeah, at this point, man. Oh, it's a 4-on-4. I'm sorry. I'm
Well,
sorry.
it's 4 I
Have- um, yeah, Logan says if the Hardys lose to Dark State, that would be an absolute travesty. Um, Yeah, if they got the Hardy Boys losing the
Dark
TNA
State.
tag titles to Dark State, then yeah, we might as well just close shop at that point because there's just no fucking way.
Just shut it down.
Yeah, it's over. It's over, dude. It's just please stop at that point. But yeah, man. So that is that's I think that's everything for NXT that I got. Um I was gonna comment on Javon Evans and Leon Slater, but I think that's at the next TNA pay-per-view. I don't believe that's on Showdown. Correct me if I'm
Yeah,
wrong, but I think
I
so.
think
Which
so.
that match should be very good. That match should be very good, man.
That's
So
dope.
we got AEW Dynamite, the 6-year anniversary here. The show starts off with Nick Jackson spending the rest of the Young Bucks' money in a casino. This results in the Young Bucks getting no entrance. They get the jobber entrance. They're already in the ring with no music. And their little name
Right.
tag says the Broke Bucks. So they're broke. They're broke now. They're
There.
back to being
They're broke
broke.
again. Yeah. Went to the
Um,
casino and then they fucking spent all the dough. God damn.
no, for sure.
Now
So
you would have thought they bought tickets to Raw.
that's I mean you're not I mean that is a great way to blow some money. I will say it's a great way to run if you want to run through some money real quick. Just think about going to a WWE show, man. So I guess this would make sense. My only question here is, you know, where do the Bucks go from this? Like, what exactly is the end game with this whole broke gimmick? That's
That's what I was gonna ask.
I
Cause
don't.
like,
It's gone on. I mean, it's gone on since All In. I mean, we're about 3 months into this at this point, and it just seems like we're doing the same thing every week. The Young Bucks are like homies with the Don Callis family, but they're broke.
yeah,
And then they weren't broke for a
I
little
don't
bit,
get it.
but now they're broke again.
Yeah, and it's the part that they weren't broke for a little bit. I thought that was gonna be, evolution of the character. They got a little money back. Maybe they were gonna go on a little bit of momentum, but start losing again, and then start that baby face turn eventually. But like, what's the end game here? I feel like Tony Khan finds the broke gimmick very funny, and I think he's gonna de facto to it for a little bit, and I think it's gonna be kind of stagnant with them at least for a little bit.
I think so. I think so. Yeah, I mean Nick Jackson's hilarious. So any little skit or any little segment with him is always going to be funny. But again, if you speak about the Young Bucks, the characters, I don't really understand where we're going here. Although there was a little bit of a glimpse of hope afterwards. Because we go into the first match, like I said, the Young Bucks are teaming with the Doorknob Alexander. Josh Alexander is on the 6-year.
Doorknob himself,
Yeah, the Doorknob himself is
the
right.
deadbolt.
He is on the 6-year anniversary of Dynamite, man. That's the first thing I want to see when I think AEW
Hmm.
Dynamite. That's what encapsulates AEW Dynamite, man. I want to see fucking Josh Alexander's non-charisma having bland ass on AEW Dynamite. And that's the first thing I want to see on the 6-year anniversary of the show.
Not
Wow.
not MJF, not maybe Jurassic Express, that
Yeah.
they're back.
Yeah.
No, I want to see fucking the deadbolt, fucking Josh Alexander.
You could add a nice little promo segment with, somebody who's a day one guy, like, I don't fucking know,
Yeah.
your world heavyweight champion, who's been there since episode 1, or maybe, because he's not 100% physically good, you could have had a guy like Kenny Omega. You could have had a guy like Kenny Omega go out there and just cut a simple promo
Yeah.
and just put a nice bow on 6 years of AEW. Thank you everybody for being here. I'm glad that I've been a member of AEW since episode 1. You could have had him talk about some of his favorite moments on Dynamite. This is another thing that I don't get. Why didn't we have day one guys just doing nice little
All over the
like
show.
I was gonna say all like plastered all over the show, like just nice little video packages. You could have had an Adam Page, or you could have had the Bucks, Chris Jericho. You could have had do a nice little cameo, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, MJF. Just some of these guys that have been day oneers, Dustin Rhodes. Just make nice little just videos and talk about some of their favorite moments that they've had on AEW Dynamite, or just some of their favorite AEW Dynamite moments in general. Tony Khan could have, he could have called in a favor from, CM Punk and Cody Rhodes and had them talk about some of their favorite AEW Dynamite moments. Kidding, but Brian, Brian Danielson, there's so many guys. I know he wasn't there from episode 1, but like there are so many guys that have been in AEW for a very long time, that you could have just had, again, put a nice little bow on AEW's 6-year celebration here. And we started the show off with fucking Josh Alexander. What the fuck?
Like, what a dud way to start the show, man. Like you said, they should have done, especially for someone who's nostalgia crazy as Tony Khan. You think he would have had nostalgia for his own show and do a bunch of all the things you said, all the people. You could have Orange Cassidy out there cutting a promo or something. You could have Swerve and Will Ospreay cutting like at-home videos, talking about how they're waiting to come back, and all this, and they had to miss the anniversary show. You could have done so much, man, and you put the fucking doorknob out there for whatever fucking reason.
Well, he's teaming with the Young Bucks, and they're facing Kenny Omega and Bro Dito. So Kenny Omega is not physically 100%, and you thought it was a good idea to bust him out of the woodworks, bring him to Hollywood, Florida, for a fucking match against the Young Bucks and Josh Doorknob Alexander.
Josh Alexander, dude. Out of all people in that group, you chose him. What the hell, dude?
If you're bringing Kenny Omega out of his Roman Reigns retirement just to write him off again, probably in a couple weeks.
Every time. Oh, yeah.
It's against Josh Alexander. If you're bringing Kenny Omega out of hiatus again, you better be fucking giving us Kenny Omega versus Kyle Fletcher, Kenny Omega versus Adam fucking Page, Kenny Omega versus Nigel McGuinness, something. No, Josh Alexander.
Josh Alexander, bruh. Like, come on, dog. Just stop. This, you feel nothing when this dude's on television besides fucking just disappointment, dude. Just pure disappointment. I feel like his parents, dude. I'm just disappointed.
So Kenny Omega wins the match for him and Bro Dito with a one-winged angel to Mr. Doorknob Alexander. And afterwards, the Young Bucks are talking to Kenny, almost as if they're getting they're getting through, or Kenny is getting through to them. He's talking to them, and again, it maybe looks like the Young Bucks want to reconcile with Omega. And Kenny is talking to them as Bro Dito, I guess, just walked away. They just dipped. I guess they didn't want to be a part of the 6-year anniversary anymore. They just dipped. So as Kenny is talking to them, Josh, the Doorknob Alexander, attacks Kenny Omega before he can, I guess, talk the Bucks out of it too much. So Josh Alexander and his auraless self is attacking Kenny Omega. And then Jurassic Express comes out for the save, and they save Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega then argues a little bit with Jack Perry because of their obvious history, which confused me in the beginning, because I was like, why the fuck is Jurassic Express out here to help Kenny Omega after Jack Perry made fun of the man and his diverticulitis, but they ended up arguing with each other. They ended up arguing with each other, and Kenny would then Jack would push Kenny out of the way to hit a suicide dive on the Young Bucks out on the outside. And that was it. So,
Oh, I forgot about the history until I just remembered what it is. I was sitting here thinking, well, history, and I remembered him dumping it on his stomach and fucking making him puke or whatever the fuck that shit was.
yeah, they like spilled out a bunch of guts out on a birthday cake on Omega's birthday, and
Yeah.
they were building to like a Kenny Omega versus scapegoat Jack Perry feud, but then Perry got taken off television, so it was a whole
God.
thing. It was a whole thing, but regardless, I'm interested to see what exactly they do there, and I guess how they repair that relationship with Kenny Omega and Jack Perry. I like that they didn't just dap up and everything was okay, because that would have been a very Tony Khan thing to do. I like how Kenny Omega was not quick to shove him, but obviously, Jack Perry did not put his hands on Kenny Omega. He's obviously a different man nowadays. He's back with his buddy Luchasaurus. So that was that. Kenny Omega then afterwards talks about, finally after the match, Kenny Omega begins to talk about being in AEW since day one, and how he truly loves all the fans, and he loves loves and is thankful for their support, and he says AEW could not have made it this far without their fan base. The lights go out as, Excalibur's one stupid motherfucker, man. Why every time the lights go out, he tries to act like there's some sort of power outage? Like, dude, how many times have you done this? At this point, when the lights go out, just stay quiet. Just fucking stay quiet. What do you honestly think? Do you honestly think Tony Khan does not have the funds to keep the lights on in the building? I mean, do you think there's a power outage that much?
But like your first episode, you never worked in TNA. Why are you assuming a power outage, man? Tony Khan pays his bills. Yeah, man, I don't know why he says that line every time. Is the power out? Like, bro, please stop.
It seems there's been some sort of power outage or some power surge. No, it's not.
Some power surge. We're not in a horror movie. We're in a fucking multi-million-dollar arena. What the fuck are you talking about? That man kills me.
So the lights come back on, and Andrade is standing there in his skull mask that he used to wear all the time. He's standing there in that, and he takes it off and attacks Kenny Omega to align himself with the Don Callis family. To be honest, Andrade returning was probably the only thing worth noting here on this 6-year anniversary of AEW Dynamite. However, they immediately, and when I say immediately, I don't think you could find me another situation. Oh, wait, no. Okay, never mind. There is Wardlow. But you get, there's a parallel between the two, because you cannot find me another situation other than Wardlow where somebody debuts and immediately, I mean fucking immediately, gets slaughtered upon arrival, because once he shook hands with Don Callis, it was over. I didn't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I still don't give a fuck. I will have yet to give a fuck, and I will never give a fuck about Andrade being back in AEW as long as he is with the Don Callis family. You put him with this group and immediately told me we have no plan for him. We don't care that he's back. We just wanted to have him run around with our boy Don fucking Callis, because that is literally and figuratively our miscellaneous bin in AEW. You know how everybody has that junk drawer in their house? You know, that one drawer in the kitchen where it's like kind of off to the side, and you just keep, lighters, pens, sticky notes, scrap pieces of paper, a fucking scrap notebook, a fucking old ID, your fucking old school ID. That drawer is the Don Callis family. That is what that is. To AEW, it is the miscellaneous junk drawer in your house. Is the Don Callis family, and that's what you put Andrade in. Dead on arrival.
Oh yeah, dead on arrival, man. Funny that he's back, man. He's the first to go from WWE to AEW, back to WWE, back to AEW yet again, man. So it's funny. He hit the statistic, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna hit another one in like a year or two when he goes back to WWE. But, um, you could say it's cool to have him back, but he's in the Don Callis family, so all momentum is instantly gone, and he's literally just back to doing what he was doing before he even left AEW in the first place, and is just stand around and have random matches, and that's all he's gonna be. He's gonna be number 13 in the man behind Don Callis, and it's gonna be nothing. He's gonna be another random pull for their fucking 6-man tags. And that's all he's going to be, man. And I think they're going to get another man in that pool very soon, unfortunately. Another man of Mexican descent. But they got Andrade back. I don't know why he's taking the fucking mask off like we don't know that fucking Andrade wears the black mask. That was kind of funny. But he's back and he's in the Don Callis family, so it means nothing already.
I will say I am glad that mask is back. I will say
I'm
that.
glad. I did really love his AEW presentation. So it sucks that he's stuck with the Don Callis family now, but I did love the way he was presented visually in AEW. I thought it was always really good.
Yeah, that group is so unorganized, man. They literally just
It's
throw
so bad.
anybody in there. Gotti
Mhm.
says, I just realized now, I just remembered now that your name on YouTube used to be Gotti Cast, and now it's at Gotti Devon. So he says he's
I just
finally
realized
coped
that too.
and realized he'll never start the podcast. Look, man, it's never too late. It is literally never too late. And yeah, it's never too late, man. And who knows? Maybe one day you will be making your podcast debut, bro. I believe in you.
Exactly.
We're here, bro. You know we're here. So
exactly.
Let's see. Speaking of the Don Callis family, next we get Kyle Fletcher versus Orange Cassidy for the international, or not the international, the TNT Championship.
There you go,
dude. This was produced like absolute horse shit. Okay, we have clearly what is El Clan coming out here, and they're trying to play this off as if this is hologram, because he has the blue hologram mask on and he's wearing like a black cloak. However, the cloak is moving and you can clearly see that under the cloak there is black and red tights. Meanwhile, and again, you can clearly see it. And the whole time commentary's like, oh my god, hologram turned its back on Orange Cassidy. And it's like, dude, not only is he wearing a black and red, how he wears that H vest?
Yeah.
He's wearing that. He's wearing that, and it's black and red. Hologram, I believe, wears like a silver and neon green one. And you can clearly see under it, he has black and red tights. So, who commentary thinks is the real hologram, distracts Orange Cassidy, trips him up on the turnbuckle. Kyle Fletcher then hits a turnbuckle brainbuster for the victory against Orange Cassidy. Callis then brings out the whole entire family as El Clan takes off the blue hologram mask and obviously reveals the black and red hologram mask. This is literally Sin Cara. And you know what? After he brought out the whole entire Don Callis family, the only people that I looked at and said, you know, I wish I was them, is El Clan and Hechicero, because they were the only two that were wearing fucking masks, and they were the only two people that had to hide themselves from this fucking embarrassment. Because after they brought this group out, that's all I could feel, was fucking embarrassment. And all I could think to myself was, you know, if I were to be two people in this group right now, it would be El Clan or it would be Hechicero. Because I would not want my fucking face to be associated with this shitstorm of a group. And at least if I was them, I can fucking hide myself from the absolute embarrassment that this faction is. This faction is a fucking piece of shit, is what this faction is. And, yeah. If I was every member of the group, I would wear a mask at this point, so I would not have to be associated with this fucking group.
I really would, dude. I really would. This group fucking blows, dude. El Clan is here, and he's as pointless as ever, dude. It's literally, first of all, how is the the gimmick that he's supposed to be a clone when the man has like his own tattoos and shit? Like, it's obviously a different dude. So why did you do the clone thing? Why don't you just do like a copycat thing where he's just copying him, but he's a clone. Apparently he was grown in a lab. All right. And yeah, he's hacking the system, dude. And I wish someone would hack the system and fucking cut the TV off every time the Don Callis family is on television. They mean nothing. They're just a bunch of fucking names, and it's just gonna get worse and worse over time, dude. The fact that it's like a thing now that there's like before it was just something that fans noticed. This group just had a bunch of people in it, and it meant nothing. Now they make that the gimmick of the group is that Don Callis just tries to hire everybody. It's gonna get worse and worse, dude. It's only gonna get worse from here.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So El Clan is here, and Don Callis, man, he literally brought the whole group out. I mean, there was literally everybody except for like Brian Cage and Wardlow. I mean, Andrade, Hechicero, Rocky Romero, Lance Archer, Okada, Takeshita, Fletcher. They were all out there, and I absolutely wanted to fucking drive my head through the wall looking at this fucking miserable group. This group is miserable, man. That is an awful fucking looking
Miserable
group.
dog. It sucks.
Mercedes Moné is doing a backstage interview where she says next week she wants somebody local in Florida. Great. I
have no idea who it's even going to be. I don't care.
I have absolutely no idea. She's getting somebody local from Florida tomorrow, so that's all I know. So
she's getting local talent.
Next up, we have Hangman and the Ops versus the Death Riders. What?
Okay.
What?
Hangman's just back facing Death Riders for a random night. All right.
I guess. The Death Riders, per usual, have a very, very cool entrance. They came up from like a tunnel because I believe they were in a casino. They were in like a little amphitheater inside a casino. So the entrance was pretty cool, per usual. Samoa Joe went to go for a tag, and Hangman stole it. He would then win the match with a buckshot lariat to Claudio Castagnoli for the victory. They actually had the linchpin lose. I was shocked.
Wow. Look at that, man. I know. Linchpin lost. God himself has taken a pin.
Yeah.
And the world shaketh in his wrath.
Yes, the literal tribal chief of AEW has been pinned. Roman Reigns in AEW has been fucking pinned, bro.
The final
I
boss.
no, seriously. And I guess Tony Khan has gotten off his kick of booking Claudio like he's Roman Reigns, man. I don't know. I don't know if it was just a nice 2 week run or what it was, but it seems to be
I
over,
guess so.
man, and it definitely sucks for sure. So
It does suck. I do miss the dominance of the linchpin.
100%, 100%, bro. So Hangman Hangman grabs all of their championships and he, kind of puts it to the chest of Powerhouse Hobbs. Powerhouse Hobbs grabs his belt. He puts it to the chest of Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe just lets it drop. Hangman clearly didn't mean anything intentional by it, but Samoa Joe decided to get in Adam Page's face about it, and they argue until into like a little pull apart. And afterwards, Hangman was in the back because these two were pushing and shoving each other. Hangman was in the back confused about Samoa Joe's bitch fit. He says, "I will not forget what Joe did for me at All In." He says he respects Joe and he will give him a title shot at Wrestle Dream. But if you do that again, I respect you, Joe, but I will end you. So Samoa Joe,
Like,
like I like the
I,
match.
mm-hmm.
I like the match. It's obviously, it's Samoa Joe versus Hangman. However, is that all you have to do to get a title shot? You just have to have you just have to have you just have to not catch your championship when he puts it to your chest. Is that how you get championship matches? Again, I like the idea of Joe versus Hangman. It's just I wish, and I see a lot of AEW fans like, oh, this is simple storytelling. No, it's not. Simple fucking storytelling. When I think of simple storytelling, I think of, like a CM Punk and Drew McIntyre situation where, the thing that kept CM Punk attached to Drew McIntyre for so long was the fact that Drew was still running around with a bracelet that had his wife and his dog's name on it. That's simple. That's simple storytelling. When I think of simple storytelling, I think of a lot of the things that we've seen in NXT. I think of a lot of things we've seen in NXT, man. It was, Johnny Gargano getting his ass whooped by his best friend, Tommaso Ciampa, all simply because of the fact that Tommaso Ciampa was tired of Johnny Gargano getting all the praise. He was tired of it feeling like Johnny Gargano's moment, right? That's what I think of when I think of simple storytelling. To me, this comes off as lazy storytelling. And as much as I like the idea of Joe versus Hangman, you mean to tell me the only thing Samoa Joe had to do to get a world championship match was not catch the championship and get a tag stolen from him? I don't know, man. Seems a little lazy to me.
Yeah. I like the idea of a story here that even between like friends or allies, a simple argument can devolve into like them wanting to face each other. But I think they just did it way too fast. I think that's something you build up over, the 3-4 weeks you have till Wrestle Dream. Have them be around each other and having to team up for this and that, but have them keep developing into arguments and whatnot. And I think it's a cool idea for a story, but they literally just did it all in 15 minutes and fucking clapped their hands together and fucking called it a day. Like I like the idea. They just did lazy and just did it all in one night. It was lazy.
And that's my biggest problem with this as well. If you're going to have this devolve into a title match, right? If you're gonna eventually make a title match out of this, why the fuck would Adam Page literally like a commercial break later offer up a world championship match. Like, I could see next week he goes up to Samoa Joe and it's like, hey, man, is everything okay? And then have Samoa Joe still be on bullshit. Be like, no, dude, everything's not okay. You know what I mean? Like, you fucking stole my tag last week, and then you want to throw the fucking championship at me. And then you could add Samoa Joe say like, hey, and what's this about you ending me? Like, as a matter of fact, if you think you can end me, then why don't you try and have it be for your championship? And then have Adam Page say like, hey, is that what this is about? You want this? You're like, look, you're one of the people that helped me win it. So I don't have a problem A, ending you, and B, putting this on the line. Boom. You could have did it next week, but have Samoa Joe bring it up. Don't have Adam Page just be giving out world championship matches like it's a fucking s'more at a campfire. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, really?
Literally.
A commercial break later? Come on, man. To me, to me, again, it's just
that was the killer.
It's lazy. It's fucking lazy. Like, dude, and it's uncreative. You could have stretched the creative out at least a week. Or a week and a half. Something like that. 15 minutes. Not even.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it, man.
Frustrating. You have a lot of potential there for arguments, and maybe even Hangman thinks that Samoa Joe is really looking at him and his world title, and Samoa Joe isn't. But the fact that Hangman thinks he is, he's like, you know what, I might as well at that point. And arguments here, but literally fucking from the start of their match to about fucking 25 minutes later, a title pay-per-view match has been announced. It's like, dude, let this build up, let this marinate a little bit. At least, like you said, at least a week, dog.
Something, bro. I mean, it's better than a literal commercial break later. Adam Page is just offering up a world championship match. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Samoa Joe's even been talking about getting the world title back for a while. So I don't know why you couldn't just did a promo next week, had Samoa Joe throw that in there like, I got no problem beating your ass. I've been wanting my championship back anyways. And then again, have Adam Page question like, oh, is that what this is about? Because if that's the case, then let's fucking do it. But I mean, come on, man. I mean, you're sitting there, I'll never forget what you did for me. I'll give you a title shot, and I'll end you. Like, talk to him first.
No. Like, it's not like, I don't think Tony Khan gets it. Like, it's not the fact that your champion is like just offering just matches like that. It's not that he should offer it. It's that he shouldn't be scared of challenges. And that's what Tony Khan gets wrong, is he has the right idea most of the time where champions shouldn't be scared to defend their title, but he takes it too far, and that they just fucking offer up fucking title shots to any and everybody every 2 seconds. Like, no, like you're trying to go down the right street, but you're fucking speeding down the street, dude. Like take it slow and take a simpler approach, man. And I think that's what this really needed.
100%, man. Again, you use the word marinate. I don't know why this couldn't have marinated for another week. I do not know.
A week.
Yeah, it just seemed it just seemed, you could have did something next week. You could have had these guys team again, and you could have had Samoa Joe, this time grab the championship and stare at it for a minute before shoving it in Adam Page's chest. Something a little bit, something a little bit, to just let it marinate, bro. But they just went ahead and got the title match underway for next week, man. So, or for Wrestle Dream. So I don't know. That's what they decided to do again. Yes, the story is simple, but it's too simple to the point where it's illogical and it's a little lazy. You know what I mean? Why is Adam Page just running around? Why is Adam Page running around just, offering up title matches? It just makes it look like you're creatively bankrupt, even though you're not, because they could have been there could have been a good story there. Like you sold yourself short on getting us to the title match. It doesn't make any sense to me, man. So that was that. Tony Storm returned in a match against Ty Conti or Ty Mello, whatever her name is. Okay. That's wonderful. Tony Storm beat her with a Storm Zero.
Okay.
Tony Storm beat her with a Storm Zero.
Okay.
She beat her with a Storm Zero. And yeah, that's afterwards. She got on the mic and she asked who she is without the world title. She says she is not done with Chris Statlander. Well, it looks like. Well, actually, we are. We will be getting a a rematch with these two. We will be getting these two running it back. So I believe at the end of the show, it did get confirmed for Wrestle Dream. So Tony and Stat again. There you go.
Hey man, they're running the match back, so it's gonna be nice to see. And yeah, it's gonna be nice to see them running that match back. It's gonna be nice to see them 1-on-1. I'm very interested to see that match.
For sure. Samoa Joe is in the back. He says Hangman must have forgot who he is. He says Hangman is about cowboy shit, but in my world, you're in deep shit. And he storms off.
Oh, shit.
That was dope.
That's dope. That's dope as hell. Samoa Joe's dope, man. He should have beat fucking Brock in that fucking Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah, he definitely
every time.
Should've.
That's always what I go back to.
Yeah.
That's the one Samoa Joe thing I always think about, dude. Goddamn.
I know we also ended up getting the Planet's champion, the eco-friendly Bryan Danielson out of the guy to beat AJ Styles in that reign. Samoa Joe's also another name that is up there for
It's
beating
also
AJ Styles.
That's the thing that sucked about his WWE one. He lost 2 back-to-back world title feuds. 2 he arguably should have won both of those. At least one of them, and he lost fucking both of them.
Ridiculous. There's a couple names in that AJ reign that could have beat him.
Literally.
We have the Gates of Agony versus Swirl. Swirl is Blake Christian and Lee Johnson.
Can't believe they fucking Jack Harlow fucking rejected him coming out to Love It On Me, bro. Come on. At least I would have gave that group some fucking charisma.
Jack, man, bro. What are we doing? Come on.
Come on, bro. Come on. That shit would have been hilarious.
That would have been ridiculously fire. But yes, they are called Swirl.
Swirl.
The Gates of Agony win the match, and the Demand, they attack Swirl after the match, and the Hurt Syndicate come out to the stage. And they challenge the Demand to a street fight next week. What the fuck is the Demand? That group is fucking horrible. And what are you doing with the Hurt Syndicate, bro?
Literally, dude. It really feels like they are punishing the Hurt Syndicate overall, creative-wise, and that's so frustrating. And what the fuck is the Demand? That group fucking blows.
Why you didn't put Ricochet with Leo Rush and Action Andretti? I feel like that would have been a bit more of an exciting trio.
Literally.
Being that they're all high flyers. I don't really get that, but okay. So yeah. So next week we will be getting the Demand versus the Hurt Syndicate in a street fight. And the main event of Dynamite 6-year anniversary. Swirl, rib shot. Swirl is not Jack Harlow. Jesus. My bad. Swirl is Blake Christian and Lee Johnson. I'm assuming it's because one of them is
There you
white and
go.
one of them is black, and it's like the swirl ice cream.
Yep.
You know, the mixed.
And he does the whole vanilla baby with the
Yep,
ice cream.
yeah.
So
He's vanilla, baby.
can't believe he can't come out to that fucking song. That should have been hilarious.
So yes, that is Swirl. That is their name. So yeah. There you go. They should get some sort of soft served ice cream brand deal. Brand endorsement.
They should.
That would be pretty hard.
They really should.
I don't know anybody cares enough about Swirl to give them an endorsement deal, but wishful thinking. The main event of your Dynamite 6-year anniversary is Chris Statlander versus Mina Shirakawa for the AEW Women's World Title.
What?
Why?
Dude.
Why? Why?
That's the perfect way to fucking celebrate 6 years of Dynamite, is a random nothing title match. That encapsulates AEW Dynamite so perfectly in
That's
its current state, man.
That is true. Yeah, that's a good point. That makes it a little better. It definitely does represent what AEW goes for, man. A random ROH champion getting a world title shot for absolutely no reason.
No fucking reason. Nothing match. Nothing world title match in the main event of the show, man.
Chris Statlander. Oh, wait. Hold on.
Oh,
no.
Wasn't that show 2.5 hours?
No. Sorry. It was, okay. My bad. It was not, I don't know why I said Statlander versus Mina Shirakawa. It was Statlander and Darby Allin against Yuta and Marina Shafir. My bad. I was looking at last week. My bad. Okay. So.
Still nothing.
Yes, definitely still nothing. However, Statlander, Marina Shafir accidentally got powdered in the eyes and she couldn't see, so she put Wheeler Yuta, her partner, in a chokehold. And as they were in the chokehold, Statlander hit a 450. She hit a 450 on both of them. And then Yuta was laying there, so what's-his-face, Darby Allin did a coffin drop to Wheeler Yuta to secure the victory for Stat and for Statlander and himself. So afterwards, Toni Storm came out and she brawled with Chris Statlander, thus confirming the match for Wrestle Dream. Darby Allin would start attacking Wheeler Yuta, and Pac would come out and choke out Darby Allin. While Moxley was standing in the ring as Darby was getting choked. He was telling Moxley he is going to make him quit. Or Moxley was telling Darby he's going to make him quit at Wrestle Dream. All right.
Yeah.
That was how they ended AEW Dynamite. I mean, it was pretty fine. I mean, there was nothing wrong with it, I guess, but that was that was Dynamite, bro. That was Dynamite. It was your typical episode of AEW Dynamite, man. Nothing too much to care for. However, I mean the ending was cool. Just yeah, nothing really talk worthy. I mean, but it was fine. It was fine, but yeah.
Exactly, man. It was fine. A normal ending to Dynamite. And yeah, man, it was 6-year anniversary. You couldn't be able to tell it's an anniversary show, but good to celebrate 6 years with AEW nonetheless.
There you go. So yeah, AEW celebrates 6 years again. I know we just shit all over the show, but please, appreciate AEW, guys.
Exactly.
It is a good thing that AEW is around, man. If anything, man, we did get a God, what was good on this show? Hold on. We did get fuck. No, we did get a nice Samoa Joe promo on the show, so that's something to
We
look
did. There you go.
to look positively upon. So yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's that. And that is everything for AEW, man. So we do not have much for SmackDown. However, before we get to that, we do have an official word from our sponsor here at Notorious Heels. We got an official word from Dubby Energy, man. Dubby is an energy drink loaded with vitamins and nootropics formulated to improve focus without getting the jitters. W is a clean formula that is sugar-free, zero-calorie, free from fillers and artificial colorings, with 150 milligrams of caffeine per serving. You can get your W products today with the link below and code NHP at checkout to save yourselves 10% on your next W purchase.
Truly, always got to shout out Dubby. Whether workout, whatever you may need the energy for. I know I keep reiterating it, but Crown Jewel this Saturday. It's early. It's real early. If you want to be up to watch the show, you want to be focused on the show, you always got to try Dubby. It'll keep you awake. It'll keep you focused. You won't have the jitters, and it'll taste good all at the same time. Always got to shout out Dubby.
There you go, man. So as always, thank you and shout out to the great people over at Dubby, the official sponsor of what we do here at NHP, man. So shout out Dubby as always, bruh. So there you go. There you go. We got SmackDown.
Yay. Everyone's favorite show, man.
This fucking show sucks. Yeah, you know what?
It's so pointless.
We did get Swirl on AEW Dynamite, so I guess you can't.
We did.
I guess you can't completely, complain about. We did get Swirl on the show, so that there's another positive for you. SmackDown. This show sucks. This fucking show damn near might be worse than Dynamite at this point. I mean, and that is a fucking wild statement to make. But at this point, I'm starting to believe it, bro. I really am. I mean, this is just getting a little absurd at this point. I'm sorry.
Exactly. At least Dynamite has, its big mainstays that you care to see every week, man. At one point, SmackDown had it, but you don't even get them on this fucking show. When you do, you get them doing random dumb shit. You get Randy Orton looking at the world title again for no reason. The same thing. He just looks at the title. You got Drew McIntyre doing fuck all. Yeah, you got Tiffany Stratton facing Nia Jax again, and you really don't get nothing else after that. They basically dropped their tag division. What are any of them doing? And you got Sami Zayn actually doing something cool every week. That's about it. That's SmackDown to a T.
I was gonna, we were talking about this a couple gaming streams ago. We were having the discussion about Sami Zayn. And I said I didn't really care for the open challenge, man, but I will say I've warmed up to it with the challengers that they've been assigning him. I have definitely warmed up to it, man. And I will say this is one of the better open challenges that we've gotten in recent years. So
exactly.
So, Tony Khan definitely didn't help. Tony Khan definitely did not help the case for open challenges. I will say that as well.
Oh God, no, he really didn't. But Sammy, he's been doing really good with it. I like the challengers he's been facing, and I really hope they keep up that energy of challengers he's been facing and do cool people from here, from there, and do that kind of stuff. Keep doing what you're doing with Sami Zayn.
There you go. So you got that. Yeah. Gone are the days of SmackDown being ran literally ran, bro, by
Mhm.
the bloodline, the honorary Oos,
It's raw.
and the late great Bray Wyatt. Gone are those days. SmackDown
All of
used
them gone, dude.
SmackDown used to be
Literally, dude.
popping
All the.
every week. Man,
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, you'd have LA Knight, you'd have Bray Wyatt, you had the Bloodline every week, dude, and now you have fucking just Cody, and you have Sami Zayn, and fucking do nothing with Drew McIntyre, and that's fucking about it, dude. It's so dried up and nothing and worthless, dude. It's insane.
you got the honorary Oos every week trying to prove his loyalty to the tribal chief, and Roman just thinks he's fucking weird, but then he's simultaneously also kind of warming up to the guy, and it's just a heartwarming story. And then on the other fucking side of the show, you got this raging psychopath trying to find the gray area between being a psychopath and becoming a good person upon his return to the company. I mean, it was just so good, man. And he started the feud with LA Knight, and it was just, man, gone are the days of late 2022 SmackDown, bro. My God, that was awesome. That was fucking awesome.
I'm telling you,
Um,
it was so awesome.
Crazy, man. Crazy stuff. But man, I miss that guy. Man, I miss Bray.
I miss him so much, dude.
So yeah, nowadays we have Randy Orton. Apparently Randy Orton is like he has some sort of like vision degree. Apparently he's like has a degree to be like a fucking eye doctor, because he can't seem to get his eyes off the WWE Championship. Again, I'm starting to think, you know when you go to the eye doctor and they got that big board, it's got like the giant letter, and then the letters just continuously get
Mhm.
smaller and smaller. I'm starting to think that the WWE Championship has one of those on there, because it seems like Randy Orton can't take his fucking eyes off of it, even though he never does anything about it. He just fucking stares at it.
That has been like a year and a half of him just fucking staring at Cody while he's champion, dude. Like, and the thing is, for me, that someone pointed out, which is so true. You know, Randy, we all know he's gonna turn on him and he's gonna want to face him for the title. But with the way Cody's character is, why doesn't Randy Orton just ask for a title match? Because he's gonna get it if he asks Cody Rhodes for a title match, because that's just the character that Cody is. He could dead ass just walk up to him and be like, "Hey Cody, can I get a title match?" And Cody would 100% he would go on a speech about how Randy deserves a title match fucking for 10 minutes, but he would give him the fucking title match.
That's
So
very
he's
cool.
gonna turn on him for no reason, dude. Turn it on him for no reason, and you're still teasing it.
Because they just want to stall, bro. They just want to fucking.
Staring at that title for a year and a half. Bro, just ask for a title shot. You'll get people do it every fucking week to the guy, to everything. Just ask.
Bro got his Netflix deal. Bro's got some big deals lined up in WWE, and I guess he just decided that his booking urgency can go out the fucking door with it. Yeah. So that's where Triple H is right now, I guess. I guess yeah, like I said, I guess his
Apparently. God
yeah.
damn.
I mean, I guess all his urgency just went out the window, because again, I don't. I don't think in all his years of booking the product, I guess he still does not understand the concept between long-term booking and stalling. So
He really fucking doesn't, man. He really does not, man. And that's funny because you could do a whole cool thing with Cody and Randy about like maybe Randy does, just straight up, try to ask Cody for a title shot. But maybe Cody's so scared with, all the friends he lost, you know, due to the WWE Championship that he's hesitant to give Randy a title shot. And that, eventually causes Randy to do the exact same thing that Cody's trying to prevent. and turn on him, dude. You could do a really cool thing with that, but he's literally just gonna fucking RKO him random as fuck and fucking hold up the title, and they're gonna announce the title shot.
Zarya
Uh,
and
and then we
Soul.
got like 3 more months for that to happen.
Yes, 100%. Zarya and Sol Ruka were on the show as they faced Chelsea Green and Alba Fire. I thought that was pretty cool. It was nice to see them. We obviously know they
Yeah.
want Sol Ruka on the main roster imminently, so I'm sure they're slowly but surely prepping her maybe to come up in early 2026. So I don't know, just getting her used to the main roster audience, but nonetheless, I like seeing them on SmackDown, man. I thought that was cool. We then get The Miz. The Miz,
Go.
Sami Zayn obviously does the open challenge, and Carmelo Hayes comes out to accept the open challenge, but he gets attacked by the fucking Miz. As it seems the days of Mello don't Miz are fucking behind us, bro.
No. Man, I love that group. And you know what? I can actually say this. I did enjoy the group while it lasted, and Triple H actually made the wise decision to end something when you still kind of like it. At least for me, and I think he fucking actually ended something at a good time, and it did story progression at a good pace this time. And I like it, man. I like it. I'm glad they did this. I'm sure they're gonna get the one-on-one fucking match, probably the SmackDown before Crown Jewel or something. but but I'm glad they did story progression at a good pace with this one.
For sure. Yeah, Mello and The Miz, it was a legendary run. They had some of the most ridiculous. They had the most ridiculous tag name I've ever heard in my life. They also had the most ridiculous catchphrase I've ever heard in my life. But regardless, it's over now, and I'm definitely losing sleep over it, if you can't tell. So that
Like,
yeah, it's been rough,
devastating.
man. I don't know how I've been able to live with myself for the past couple of days, knowing that Mello don't Miz is they mizzed. Okay, they're
I'm gonna
over.
miss them.
So so I will miss them for sure. What a ridiculous pairing, man. What a fucking ridiculous pairing. But in a sense, it did kind of make it good because it was just so
It-
fucking
it-
stupid. Um,
exactly. It was so dumb that it was funny. I enjoyed it overall.
100%.
I didn't enjoy, that's kind of what they delegated Mello to, obviously. They should have done a lot more with Mello. But overall, for what we got, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I'll say I enjoyed it.
So, uh, the one to end up answering the challenge was Alistair Black. Alistair Black comes out to face Sami Zayn, and the match was I believe interrupted by Damian Priest. Or Damian Priest cost Alistair Black. It was one of the two. Which, to go along with what I typically say, he fucking ruins everything. Get this fucking guy out of here, man. Damian Priest and Alistair Black. I mean, what a Jesus Christ, man. What a dead feud. I mean, who the fuck is talking about that, man? Who cares?
Fucking literally, dude, it is the most nothing side feud you could ever have. I don't care, obviously, about Damian Priest. I really don't fucking care about the guy. And just this is what you're doing with Aleister Black. You're having him face Damian Priest for nothing. It, what the hell, man?
Yeah. So there you go. And then the thing I found most interesting on SmackDown Oh God, Gotti, God bless you, bro. You rewatched Mania 27. Oh my God.
Don't people say that's like the worst Mania or something?
Yes, that one was very bad. That was the one that
Okay.
had Snooki on
Okay.
it.
Oh, okay.
So Mania 27, the match that I remember most fondly was the no holds barred match with Triple H and The Undertaker. I thought that was fucking phenomenal. Um, I honestly don't remember too much from Cena and Miz, bro. I can't even lie. I do not remember that. I remember The Rock coming out at the end of it. I remember being very pissed when I was a kid. Part of the reason why I fucking hated The Rock's guts when I was a kid. And I do remember being hyped because that was my first time seeing John Cena in red gear. So I was very pumped for that. To this day, I think that is my favorite Cena gear, the red 2011 gear. It's from the feud with Punk.
Hey,
It's an iconic colorway from John Cena. However, um, uh, the feud is dead because of Damian Priest. The feud is absolutely dead because of Damian Priest. That guy kills everything, man. Can we just get Mike Santana in here already? He please, for the love of
dead
God.
ass.
I
Just
mean,
swaps, please.
holy
Just swap
fuck.
spots with him and Mike Santana.
Get the fucking bum out of the building, bro. I mean, come on, man. Get him out. First Mania. Oh, Logan says he likes Mania 27 because it was the first Mania he ever watched live. Yes, I'm like that with Mania 26. Even though people do like Mania 26, I do hold it in a higher regard because this is the first Mania I ever watched live. 23 was the first one in general, but I did watch that one on DVD. So there you go. Yes, but Mania 26. That was simpler times for sure. Uh,
Hell yeah. Gotti says his favorite Cena gear is his all black heel gear. I respect it. I don't know why they're just now selling that fucking heel John Cena shirt. I
black
don't know
heel
why they
gear.
didn't sell it when he was.
Are you talking about like the
Yeah.
Vegas one?
No, they're selling a shirt that's just all that all black John Cena Tron, or it
Uh,
just says John Cena in the white text.
oh yeah,
They're
yeah, yeah.
selling that now.
I
Don't
seen
know why they
that.
didn't sell it while
Yeah.
he was heel.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
But
don't
okay.
know why that's a sale now, but I did like the black Cena gear where he was wearing black and the camo pants from early 2012. That was right before he started wearing the green gear, the Rise
Yeah,
Above Hate gear. I did love that. Um, I did love that, but
orange might be my favorite gear for Cena. I
you
might be
said
an orange guy for Cena.
2010. Okay, okay. Are you talking about that gear
I
or
like the
like
orange. I
just?
just think of Jack.
Are you talking about the 2010 specific or just him in orange in general?
Just, just him in orange in
Okay.
general. That's kind of the color I associate with him.
Okay.
And my favorite, at least with him.
For me it was always red. I always loved his red color
Mhm.
ways. So I always obviously 2011 is my favorite from him. I also love the 2016, the red, white, and blue, the past blue ribbon inspired gear. The one from like the AJ
Mhm.
feud is one of my favorite ones. I don't really count a lot of the farewell tour because it's been different every time. But if I'm talking just the colorways that that he wore for like a period of time, the black Rise Above Hate I think was awesome. The orange was obviously very nostalgic. The 2010 orange one. I did not like the 2015 orange and green colorway, but I love the orange and blue from
Mhm.
2010. Purple is another classic. The green
I like
2012 one
purple.
was great. I did love the navy and yellow from 2012. I liked a lot of. I will say, I can the conversation is more interesting if I talk about the ones that I don't like because I liked a lot of his gears. Um, I honestly wasn't a fan of the 2015 Open Challenge gear, that like light blue and yellow. I wasn't really a fan of that. The orange and green from 2015, I hate that one. I can't even lie. I don't like that. Oh, I did like his maroon and yellow from 2015. 2015 as well. I did like that one. I thought that way. Cena in maroon always looks pretty tough. Or I think that one might have even been not maroon, but just a darker red.
You're red.
So but yeah, the past blue ribbon one in 2016 was very nice, man. Very, very nice. I like that one. Also, the one he wore after that, the blue, the one he won the 16 time, the one from the Rumble match with AJ, that one was also very tough as well. I did not like the baby blue that he wore in 2020. He wore it from like 2023 to I think it was maybe from like 2021 to 2023. He
Like,
wore that baby blue and orange gear. I wasn't a fan of that either. I was not a pink. Oh,
no,
Cena wearing pink was also. I love the pink gear, bro.
it
I
was
love the
good.
pink gear. Yeah, I like again. There's more than I like than I dislike. I will say that. But if I were to give like
Yeah.
top two for sure, I would probably say the red 2011 and then the black 2012 Rise Above Hate gear. But and then to top it off for a top three, I would probably go the past blue ribbon, red, white, and blue for
Oh yeah.
for the third. But yeah, so banger. I actually do have a couple. I actually do have a couple ideas for John Cena related stuff when we get to the end of the year and
Oh,
all
dude.
the final gears, I guess. Or now that we'll officially know all of his gears, I do got some stuff for the farewell tour and just John Cena shirts in general. Oh, you know another tough John Cena shirt I really liked. This was before we got into like Fruity Pebble Cena, but the gear from his Royal Rumble 2008 return, the one where it's like a fence and it says hustle, loyalty, respect, and on the back it's got like the bulldog eyes. You know which one I'm talking?
Oh
That
yeah.
gear is
The blue.
fucking
Yep.
tough. I love that
That's a
one.
dope one.
I love that
Yeah.
one.
It's got the chain link fence. Yeah,
Yes.
that one's fire. I
That one
love that
is
one.
too tough, bro. That one is too tough. So, but I got a couple of ideas and just a couple different ideas that I want to maybe express over the over the next or over the end of the year. But I do have a couple of ideas for John Cena gear related stuff. So there you go. There you go, man. But Gotti says the first Mania he ever watched live, says he was poor, same here, was WrestleMania 30. It was the first Mania on the
No,
WWE
still.
network. So, when I was a kid, the only pay-per-view my parents would splurge on was WrestleMania. So literally like I would go to school the next day after pay-per-views and I would like people would come up to me and try talking about the pay-per-view, but I was like shut up. Like
Spoil it.
no, like do not spoil it. I need to watch Raw tonight to figure out what the fuck happened at the pay-per-view because I was just dying to know what happened at the pay-per-view. And there was a lot of heartbreaking times where somebody would come out with a championship and I would be like, what the fuck? I would be like, you were supposed to lose it, like, you know, but yeah, so it is, yeah, for me, my first one, man, was Mania 26 and I will absolutely never forget that night. It was me and three of my other buddies and and we all sat there and we enjoyed Mania over some oven baked, not microwave, oven baked pizza rolls, man. So it was a great night, man. It was a great night. It was one I'll never forget. And one day that is a tradition that I hope to carry on with my kids, and maybe they'll have
Yeah.
friends that are wrestling fans or whatever, and we'll be able to. Obviously, you already know this guy's gonna be there, but obviously, I would just
Mhm.
love to. It was just something fun that my dad did for us all the time. Was we would always just all pay-per-views with some good food, bro. Whether it was Little Caesars, me and Sir K definitely remember those days, or whether it
Oh
was
yeah.
this other this local pizza spot that me and Sir K still go to at the time or still go to this day, I mean. something like that.
They were doing
Pay-per-view.
dominoes for a while.
Yeah, we were doing dominoes for a while, man. But man, pay-per-view with some good eats. There's absolutely nothing like it, man. There's absolutely nothing
It's the
like it.
best.
It is, yeah,
It really is.
it's amazing stuff, man. It is amazing stuff. But yeah, those are core memories, man. Those are core memories. So every year we did that for WrestleMania, and yeah, 26, man, all the way, all the way up until. Again, obviously, you guys know I got out of the product from like Mania 30 to 30 and 31 I did not watch live, but even 32 I guess I looked at it, but I didn't do a big thing. So I was pretty much out the game for 30, 31, and 32, but 33 all the way up until 41 today. You know, it's always been core memories, and always been just good stuff, man. So yeah. Yeah, same here, Logan. I've watched every Mania live again. So it would be 26 through 29, and then 33 through 41 that I've watched live, bro. And we're not stopping anytime soon. So, yeah. So that is that. But yeah, that is let's see what else. It's a good yeah. So that was I doubt WrestleMania 30 is one that I do wish I watched live, just because
Yeah.
I always wish me and you watched that one together, because I would have loved to seen our fucking reaction to Undertaker losing the streak. I would have loved it. I would have.
Oh, we've been so pissed.
I know we would have been fucking pissed, dude. I already know. What do you think is
We
the
would've
most
been
mad we've ever
fuming,
been
dude.
after a WrestleMania? Out of everything that's happened at a Mania. It would have had to have been 34,
dude.
right? Yeah.
Like, that one was, the build and hype was insane. From that point, we were getting everything we wanted for once. And then it all came crashing down at Mania itself. Asuka lost. Shinsuke lost to it with a dumb heel turn. Oh, it was bad, dude. It has to be 34. It has to be.
Yeah, it's gotta be. It's absolutely gotta be, man. I mean, yeah, that is just legendarily horse shit. But anyways, WWE, going back to SmackDown finally. WWE is starting to they're starting a feud with Tiffany Stratton and Julia. Now, on paper, you might say, okay, that's something. But Julia, I know a lot of you might have forgotten, and I don't blame you. Julia is the women's U.S. champion. And she is starting a feud with the women's world champion, Tiffany Stratton. Bro, she's the fucking U.S. champion.
Like, dog. She's, like you said, she's the U.S. You haven't even done anything with her in the U.S. title. So why don't you just do something with that first? I don't get it.
Dude. And if you feel you can't do it because you have the same people to go up against Jade Cargill, or to go up against Tiffany Stratton, people like Jade Cargill, people like Nia Jax, then fucking switch your rosters up. What the fuck?
Do a draft. You desperately need a draft, especially with SmackDown, dude.
Yeah, I do not understand that. I do not understand the concept. I do not understand the concept behind this, bro. Why are we feuding a champion with another champion? Nobody looks good. Well, obviously the one who wins looks good out of it, but the one who loses looks like shit because they have to carry on as a loser with their championship. And more than likely, it's going to be fucking Julia. And again, if you think you can't If you think you can't hold, and if you think Tiffany Stratton does not have any more challengers, then I ask, why is there no roster shakeup?
Like,
How
just
long?
shake up the roster.
How long are you going to feud Tiffany Stratton with Nia Jax and Jade Cargill? Before you have to feud her with the U.S. champion because there's nobody else for her to face. Does nobody see this as a problem? Why is Triple H so lazy? Why?
So fucking lazy, dude. The man's been running the same story back for months with Tiffany, and now he just decided to put her against the U.S. champion, who he's also done nothing with. So lazy.
It's a joke, man. It's an absolute joke. I don't understand. And yeah, that's what they're doing. So there's fucking SmackDown in a nutshell for you. A fucking piece of shit per usual. So we have WrestleMania. Logan says WrestleMania 39 endings had him pissed. I was angry in the moment. But that's actually one I grew to actually really love. I think that was the perfect ending in my opinion.
Same.
And that is probably my favorite WrestleMania of all time, man. But I will say, I definitely have to go 34. To piggyback off of what Sir K said, I will never get over them sabotaging Asuka's streak, them sabotaging AJ Styles and Nakamura, and them sabotaging a WrestleMania main event in Roman Reigns, and they made us watch Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar just for Brock Lesnar to fucking win. For Brock Lesnar to win, and we had to sit there and watch a Mania main event over Beat the Traffic chants. And not to mention, Rusev was supposed to put a nice bow on Rusev Day that night, and then they ended up giving the U.S. title to fucking Jinder Mahal. What a joke.
It was horrible.
Oh,
Mania was fucking horrible.
Let's not forget the Bludgeon Brothers, New Day and Usos were supposed to have a banger match, and they got 6 minutes. Nice.
You had all those dope ass tag teams, and you gave them 6 minutes of a match. Holy hell, that Mania was legendarily bad.
You might even be trending towards the more correct direction with 3 minutes. Probably.
I think it was damn near like 3 minutes or so. It was something like that, dude. It was 3 to 7 minutes, something like that. Something in that ballpark.
What a joke. What a fucking joke.
God.
Gotti, please do not subject yourself to watching WrestleMania
don't do that
34.
to yourself.
Nobody should ever watch WrestleMania 34 again, man. That is absolutely just that is the most dog shit. Oh, and then they hype up this John Cena and Undertaker match, speaking of fucking short, and they give that like 7 minutes. It's a match that everybody wanted to see. And even Undertaker was like, dude, I trained for a 30-minute match. And they give him 3 fucking minutes against John Cena. Great. What a piece of shit show that was. The only good match on that show was probably the Open. That was Rollins, Balor, and Miz. That was like the highlight of the night.
Good. That was literally the highlight of the fucking night.
What a fucking... My God, what a joke. What a fucking piece of shit. God. That got me talking about WrestleMania 34, bro. All right. That was it for SmackDown. Moving over to Monday Night Raw. This was from Dallas, Texas. The home of my Mavericks. The show opens up with the return. Well, no, never mind. He returned last week. Never mind, not the return. With a Roman Reigns promo. Yeah, the return promo. There you go. Of Roman Reigns.
We're gonna get a return in there.
Yeah, there it is. Another one on the books.
I think they released like a 30-minute video on YouTube
they did.
of all his returns, bro.
They did.
That is fucking hilarious. 30 minutes of returns.
Dude, oh my goodness. 30. I seen it. It was like it was like 28 minutes and 50 something seconds. I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? I was like, there was 30 minutes of Roman Reigns returns. Good God.
Dang.
Roman Reigns, he comes out there, he does his shtick, he tells everybody to acknowledge him, and then Bronson Reed comes out and just stares at Roman Reigns. He dead ass is just cracking his knuckles, just staring at him. So Roman asks,
Didn't have a mic in his hand.
no, not at all. Roman then asks the only logical question at this point. He puts the mic to his mouth and says, are you just going to stare at me, or are you going to say something? Paul Heyman, the Oracle, grabs the mic. He grabs the mic and he says, I don't know who's been wise-manning you about public speaking, but you ruined the shtick. He says, I'll do it. He tells everybody to acknowledge their tribal thief, Big Bronson Reed. He then tells Roman Reigns to acknowledge the only man that you truly fear deep in your heart, and that is Bronson Reed. He says he knows that he fears him because for once in his life, you had to leave, or he says, not once in your life did you have to leave in a stretcher. You never had to do that in football. You never had to leave at family barbecues with all the drunken Samoans having a battle royal in the backyard. Not once in your career have you had to leave in a stretcher, be put into an ambulance, and sent straight to the hospital until you were attacked by this man. Bronson Reed grabs the mic. He says, your father, Sika, 45 years in the business, never stretchered out. Your uncle, 45 years in the business, never stretchered out. How do you think they'd feel looking down at you getting stretchered out by my hands? Roman grabs the mic. He says, it's funny you bring up my father and uncle. You didn't know them, but the dumbass next to you did. He asks, what do you think my dad would say right now, Paul? He would say, fight them now. So let's do it. Bronson Reed goes to go down in the ring. Paul Heyman stops him, telling him to do it on his time. Roman Reigns says, I know what he's telling you. I've ran this play before. There is no wise words coming out of his mouth. Just a bunch of words from a coward. He's telling you that you're on the tribal chief's time. You're on the tribal chief's terms. He says, let's be honest right now. I'm levels above you. You're always on my time, no matter the place, no matter the time, no matter the fashion. I will always be your tribal chief. Paul Heyman then says, we're not going to do it right now, but I propose to you in Perth, Australia, a match that Bronson Reed is famous for, a match that made WWE scout him, and a match that he's never been defeated in. Bronson Reed challenges you to an Australian street fight. That's what Bronson Reed is famous for? An Australian not the tsunami. An Australian street fight.
That's what he's famous for, man. I can't even tell you the last Australian street fight that he has had. Or the one that got him signed or whatever he said in that promo.
They got him signed, bro. We got him scouted.
Yeah. Got him scouted, bro. Which time?
Roman says, that's too easy. He says, I accept. Paul Heyman goes to leave. He tells the crowd good night. Roman says, well, that's funny. You guys walked in here like a bunch of tough guys, but you're leaving like a bunch of bitches. Bronson Reed then runs back down to the ring, and they all start brawling. They all start, well, not they all, just Roman and Bronson. I don't know why I'm talking like Heyman was in the brawl too. No, it was just Roman and Bronson. These two brawled for a little bit, into a pull apart where a bunch of, WWE officials or security came out there, and they broke it up. As for the promo, I thought the promo was fine. It definitely wasn't Heyman's finest work of the night. I actually did enjoy something he did a little bit later in the night a lot more. So I like that. I like that a lot. And yeah, that was pretty much that. We're obviously getting an Australian street fight with Bronson and Roman. I hope Bronson wins this time, but will he? Probably not. I will say I can appreciate that Bronson Reed is actually getting to make an Australian show this time. I know a lot of people thought this was going to be Braun Breaker. I never thought that. The show was in Australia. I figured it would be Bronson Reed, being that I don't fucking know. He's from Australia. So there's that. But, if you guys can remember the last time they went to Perth, that was last year for Elimination Chamber 2024, Bronson Reed was not able to make the show. So I'm very glad that he was able to make the show this time around and actually get to go back home and wrestle in front of the home crowd, man. So I'm happy we're getting to see Bronson and Roman again. And Roman must really like Bronson Reed, man, because he's working with him again.
Exactly, man. Exactly. I'm glad Bronson gets to go to this Australian show and be a part of it. I'm very excited. I'm sure he's gonna lose, but the match is gonna be cool and good nonetheless. I like their little promo back and forth. I wish Reed got a little more promo time on it than Paul Heyman, but you know how it goes, man. But overall, I liked it. I like the opener, and I'm excited for their match.
For sure. So, we have Asuka in the back. She's yelling at Adam Pearce to make the match between Kairi Sane and Io Sky. Adam Pearce says okay. He tells Asuka he needs a drink. And Kairi then walks up and asks Asuka, what she was talking to him about, and Asuka tells her that she got her a match with Io Sky. Kairi says she doesn't want to do it because she wants Io to be their family again. Asuka then slaps the dog water out of her and tells her the match is happening and you better win. And Kairi split on her decision, ends up walking away with Asuka on the verge of tears. So again, I'm not really a fan of the split Kairi. I wish they would have just had Kairi turn. I don't know what unless they're going to break Asuka away from Kairi and make her a singles, then I guess that would work. But if you're not going to do that, then, I don't, if it depends how long they run this whole tag team thing. Honestly, I think the best case scenario for Asuka, just for the fact of needing singles women in the division, is obviously have Asuka and Kairi, the Kabuki Warriors, lose the match and then have Asuka turn on Kairi because Kairi doesn't really add much to the whole Asuka presentation anyway, so I don't know, but that's just me.
Exactly. I don't love the whole, Kari's, divided or whatever. Like you said, maybe they could split them up and maybe you could use something with her, even though, I doubt they really use singles Kari anyway, so you might as well keep them together. But it is what it is. I like the whole Io and Asuka stuff, but the Kari stuff is kind of, it's just there.
Yes. The next match was Maxine Dupree versus Becky Lynch. Why? Can I just please? Can I please just ask why? This match is taking place again. Becky Lynch has some sort of beef with Maxine Dupree. Becky Lynch is on the outside gloating on top of the announce table. Maxine Dupree gets in the ring, and the referee completely fast counts Becky Lynch out of the match for a countout. I don't know if Maxine got in the ring too early. She got in at about 7, and I swear to you, this referee went 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, ring the bell. And I'm sitting there like, yo, you totally were just playing special guest referee mode on 2K and just fast counted the fuck out of Becky Lynch out of the match. Like, what the fuck is even that? And completely, a completely different side note here, but can anybody explain to me why Becky Lynch is doing this and not, I don't know, facing AJ Lee in a singles match at Crown Jewel? I mean, it's only right of me to ask now. It's been 2 to 3 weeks. Where is AJ Lee at? Where is she back? Or where is she since coming back?
Literally. She's not here. We don't have our women's world champion, and we don't even have AJ Lee on the show. What the hell, dog? What is this? What is going on the show?
You brought AJ Lee back. You have CM Punk out there thanking everybody for welcoming her with open arms. But again, it is only right of me to ask, where is AJ Lee at? Where is AJ Lee? It's like she came back at WrestlePalooza, won the match, and we've seen or heard absolutely, we've seen her zip, not at all ever since WrestlePalooza. Like, did you just bring her back to stick it to AEW? Did you? What are we doing? Why is there absolutely no word on what is going on with AJ Lee?
No word. No word at all. Just gone from television.
Not even a mention as to where she is.
No, not a mention. Not she's waiting for something. Nothing. Just don't really. CM Punk acknowledges her, but doesn't acknowledge her absence.
I don't get it, man. But Becky Lynch loses to Maxine Dupree. Again, why? Why are we just stalling? Why are we stalling? I don't. You know what? Gotti has a great point. He says they're stretching AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch to WrestleMania. Don't be delusional, Johnny. You know better. You're right. I do know better. I do know better. That is you're right. And thank you for calling me out on that, because that is exactly what they're gonna do. And I was actually just gonna say, typical Triple H. He's stalling. He's keeping AJ Lee away until WrestleMania. Well, not until WrestleMania, but he's keeping off on Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee until WrestleMania. She's probably going to come back around the Royal Rumble time, or around the end of the year, and she'll probably eliminate Becky Lynch from the Royal Rumble, and then this will lead to them two having a singles match, and we're going to get Punk versus AJ, or Punk versus Rollins, and then Becky versus AJ at WrestleMania, each for the championships. And I'm sure one of the nights of WrestleMania will end with AJ and Punk celebrating with both of their championships. So there you go.
100%.
Which is a great idea. The only problem is we're in fucking October.
Mm-hmm.
We got a long way to go.
We're gonna have to wait, dog. You know it. Mm-hmm.
So, good old triple stall over there. So, booking takes triple as long.
Triple stall.
So we have that.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
And next we have the Bloodline. We have Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso. Yeah, fucking here we go, man. It's giving me some old SmackDown memories here with this compelling television they got going on here. I am not joking. This is actually one of the better parts of fucking TV. So,
the only part of TV, really.
No, for real. Roman Reigns walks up to the Usos. Jey daps up with Roman. Roman daps up with Jimmy. Jimmy looks a little off. Jimmy then tries telling Roman Reigns, he tells Roman Reigns, he says, are we going to let him talk about our family like that? He brought up, Uncle Afa and Uncle Sika. He says, you know what, at Crown Jewel, we got you. But as soon as he says, we got you, Jey yells over him and says, I got you. So Roman says, guys, I'm good. I don't want the help, especially from you. He points at Jey. He says, what did we talk about? He says, you should be hyper-focused on what you're doing. Roman then says, you know what? Who's talking at the top of the hour? Jay says, Punk. Roman says, not you, huh? Jay gets pissed. He says, man, yeet. And he walks off. Roman then is standing there with Jimmy, and they're standing side by side watching Jay walk off. And Roman says, you know, Jim, I see and hear everything. He then says to Jimmy, so I have to ask, what's the problem with him taking advice from me? And Roman walks off before Jimmy could say anything. And we would obviously find out a little later in the night. Jimmy Uso definitely kind of lashed out a little bit, but this was great. I obviously love this. I love this whole storyline of this whole storyline of Jey Uso becoming, as Punk would say, Little Roman is this is good stuff, man. This is good stuff. And I love Roman Reigns obviously not being dumb to the fact that Jimmy is not a fan of his brother, you know, taking part in, you know, very Roman Reigns like way of thinking, man. So I like it a lot, and I thought this was a great segment. This is obviously some of the best stuff on TV. You know, what do you know? Leave it to the bloodline. So there you go.
Leave it to the line. Best part of television, man. I love this segment. I love the indifference from Jimmy. I love Roman getting in Jay's head. Jay already just ready to do the Roman, you know, way of working. I like it a lot. I like the tension between all three guys, and it built up even more later in the night, and I love what it's doing, man. I really do.
There you go. So next we have Roxanne versus Lyra. Lyra is in the back in Gorilla before her match, and Bayley comes up, and she's very happy. And she asks Lyra if she could be ringside for her match, and Lyra says, okay, but how are you feeling? Bayley says she feels great. She is ecstatic this week. During the match, Bayley is on the outside helping Lyra Valkyria a little bit. Roxanne then ends up taking out Bayley on the outside. Lyra then does a little jumping drop kick to Raquel on the outside. Roxanne then comes flying outside of the ring for a tornado DDT on Lyra, gets her in the ring for a pop rocks, and secures the victory as the Judgment Day run off. Bayley gets Lyra Valkyria up and tells her, come on, get up. We got to go get him. As they're running to the back, I guess, to go continue sliming out Judgment Day, as Bayley was, it seems like she might be warming up to Lyra Valkyria, or either that or she's trying to pull Lyra into her evilish ways, maybe. Or like I said, maybe that she's, you know, maybe even warming up to Lyra a little bit, to the point where, you know, she's not necessarily getting mad at her, but she wants to be mad with her, type of thing. So I'm interested to see where this is going, and this is definitely taking an interesting turn. But I say it every week. This is one of my favorite parts of the show, and I love this stuff every week, man. I can't lie. This is some of the best character work that Bayley's doing, and it's actually very great character work that Lyra Valkyria is doing as well. I think she's playing this just confused babyface very well.
She is. I really like their dynamic, and I like the turn it's taking. I like that, you know, Bayley found this kind of, you know, edge to her, and I like the what it seems like is she's trying to put that same edge on Lyra and give her that same edge that she found herself in to you know, go crazy and do work. So I like that. I like that a lot, and I like this dynamic that they're building. I'm very, very interested to see, you know, like you said, like the end game to this and how this goes.
So we got a video package recapping the history between AJ Styles and John Cena. It was a great video package. It went over, you know, all their history. It showed footage of AJ Styles and TNA. It pretty much played to the whole Mr. TNA versus Mr. WWE thing. We then get back from the video package, and Jackie Redmond is standing there with AJ. She asks how he's been preparing for his match against John Cena. And the Judgment Day walk up. Dominic says to AJ, how are you going to beat John Cena if you never even beat me? Dominic, you know he's beat him twice, right? You know that? Just saying. Dominic says, Rusev couldn't even beat me. Finn then tells AJ, I heard you and Dragon Lee wanted a shot at these tag titles. He says, take it from an old friend. You're making a mistake. AJ says, this is 3-on-1, so it's easy for you guys to make threats. But how about me and Dragon Lee go get a third, and we have a 6-man tag tonight? We go to commercial break and come back, and AJ Styles and Dragon Lee find Pentagon as their third man in this 6-man tag. And in the middle of them, dapping up with Penta or whatever, you just start hearing a bunch of ruckus going on in the background. Penta's eyes got big as shit, like he was scared for his life. And the camera panned over to Bayley and Lyra Valkyria absolutely sliming out Judgment Day, as Bayley was not lying, bro. She really wanted to go get him. Yeah, they were whooping the shit out of them, bro. And then a bunch of officials came in. Adam Pearce came in and started yelling at everybody. So that was that. But yeah, so as for the Judgment Day stuff, you know, I'll take this, I guess, over a fucking Clubhouse segment. However, it does suck that the whole time AJ Styles has been, you know, trying to, I guess, hype up this John Cena match. All it's been is like, it just gives me the vibes that Triple H did not want to do it, because, you know, he puts such little focus on Cena versus AJ. Like, I'll have him say a few words like he did tonight, and they'll air a video package, but it's like Triple H was a little butthurt that the fans, you know, maybe got to him a little too much, because he's sitting there still having AJ, you know, mainly do this stuff with Judgment Day and Dragon Lee and all this other stuff, and just paying very little attention to the fact that he has a match with John Cena coming up. So, and even when they do have him speak, it's very short-winded. You know what I mean? So it's like, you can't sit there and tell me that this was the plan when you're basically acting butthurt about this match happening in the first place, which is why you're putting very little attention on, you know, what AJ Styles is doing on TV having to do with John Cena, and more having to do with a tag team partnership with Dragon Lee. So, again, it wasn't a part of the plan, and, you know, I think it's okay to admit that, you know, you're a little salty that your fan base, you know, wanted something a little more than fucking you cared to see it, I guess.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Even though it was the plan the whole time, man. So, you know, there's that. But yeah, it does suck that AJ's still wrapped up in basically all this Judgment Day Dominic shit. When, you know, at the end of the day, he just lost. You should have wrapped that up, but he's still around them. And we're basically not even building to the Cena match, which is, you know, it's gonna be great, but like, I think both guys really wish they could have actually built to their match properly.
For sure. So we got, let's see, we got CM Punk. He comes out for a promo segment. He does his shtick. He sings a song with Dallas. I can't recall exactly what song it was. He says, first and foremost, thank you for the warm welcome back for AJ Lee. Really? So is she done? Is she back in retirement? I mean, what do you mean welcome back? She's on vacation again. What do you mean? What? What do you mean? Well, what do you mean? The warm welcome. Well, her welcome back is getting awfully cold. Okay, so I don't know.
Literally.
I don't know how long your warm welcome is gonna last before. Again, it's just completely ice cold at this point because not like we haven't fucking seen her in like 3 weeks at this point. So I don't know what we're doing, but you're welcome. We gave her a warm welcome back because we all wanted her back, and I don't know what Triple H is doing. Is again, there's hardly even a fucking mention of her outside of this. So
Literally.
for the most part, they're acting like she didn't even come back. But regardless, he says, the reason I've been gone is because I promised Cody I would stay out of his business. He says, the crown jewel match is for brand dominance. It's for ego. Really?
I thought it was for the future of the company, but okay.
Yeah. Apparently, this match determines who gets Triple H's chair whenever he decides to stop stalling. So he says another reason he was gone is because he's been celebrating beating Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. I guess AJ's still celebrating. I guess she didn't finish. I guess she didn't finish the cake yet.
The party.
I guess not. I guess there's still more balloons that need to be blown up. So he says he has been celebrating beating Becky and Seth. He says he is going to end the celebration by beating Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. He points out a sign that says CM Punk deserves his World Heavyweight Championship back. He says, I appreciate the passion, but deserved is not the word I want to use. It's earned. He says he started the year off beating Seth Rollins, and he will get his title back. He says, and I actually love this. I thought this was a cool callback. He says, Seth Rollins, CM Punk is better than you, and you know it.
Oh yeah, cool ass MJF line.
That was dope. That was a nice little. That was a nice little tip of the cap to one of CM Punk's greatest rivals, in my opinion, MJF.
Yeah.
So he says he will get his world championship back, and then LA Knight's music hits. I will say LA Knight and CM Punk have a great chemistry on the mic. It just seems like those two guys really enjoy working with each other on the mic, and I really enjoy seeing them work together on the mic. I always think these two just have great, the way their dialogue goes off of each other is very good. I mean, you could just tell the blatant chemistry there. So LA says, look in my eyes, what do you see? Punk grabs his mic and says, someone who just interrupted me. LA says, no. You're looking at the guy who blew the door off of this place and still hasn't gotten what he deserves. No, what I earned. A World Heavyweight Championship. He says, he said some things. He says, you said some things that I agree with, but I have some omissions to make. He says, you're the creator, the owner of the pipe bomb. But lately, you've been known for just being a husband. He says, that's not a knock. Everyone needs love, and I'm glad that you're able to spread that message. But for as good of a husband that you seem to be, you're a trash champion. He says, you had 5 minutes with the World Heavyweight Championship, and then Seth Rollins pinned you twice at SummerSlam and at Clash in Paris. But I have never, he says, he says, you know who Seth Rollins has never, ever not pinned? Never, ever pinned. CM Punk grabs the mic. He says, I'm assuming you're going to say it's the same guy who's never been World Heavyweight Champion. Ooh. You can tell that one kind of even stung LA Knight a little bit.
Yeah, LA
He
Knight
kind of
really
like
stopped for a
laughed.
few seconds.
Yeah, he kind of like, you could tell he wanted to laugh because he was like, fuck. But so he says, he says, you can say that, but I'm the last one to pin Seth Rollins, and I actually beat Seth Rollins twice. And I will be the next one. And then Jey Uso's music hit. He interrupted LA Knight. He comes out. He says, I'm going to stop you right there. I'm finally thinking clear. He says he's the one who never got his rematch for the World Heavyweight Championship, and he's the one who's up next for the World Heavyweight Championship. LA Knight asks Jey if that's deja vu from Clash in Paris. He tells Jey, you had it, and then you lost it. He says, your time is up. Now is LA Knight's time. He tells Jey, you're not the next Roman, and that's a good thing because you can carve your own path. He tells Jey you should stick to the tag team championships, but from last week, I could tell you guys suck at being a tag team. Jimmy then is walking out to no music. He tells Jimmy, he says, I know we're good. I did not mean to give you any shrapnel, but Jey keeps getting in my way. And if he keeps getting in my way, I will flip his on switch. Jey then super kicks LA Knight. CM Punk still standing there. He says, I assume we're cool. He says he interrupted LA and not me. He says he understands he understands Jay's passion, but you are going to have to get in line behind me. He says LA Knight has a point. Maybe you should be a tag team because I love Jey Uso. I don't like Little Roman. Jey then goes to super kick CM Punk. Jimmy stops him. CM Punk then grabs Jimmy, pushes him out of the way, and he socks Jey in the face. And then he turns around to a super kick from Jimmy. Again, I like the promo segment. I did. I liked the parts with LA Knight and CM Punk. I thought that was nice. When Jey Uso came out, Jey Uso and LA Knight, their stuff, I could see why Logan says he thought it was pretty awkward. The parts with Jey and LA, I could see those being pretty awkward. They just, that was a little, it just kind of seemed a little like rambling. I was going to say, it just seemed like they were rambling a bit much for me. However, the whole thing I liked most behind this is how mad Jey Uso got when, LA Knight, CM Punk mentioned, I like Jey Uso, I don't like Little Roman. I like how angry that made Jey Uso. I thought that was a nice touch on, that. And, overall, I thought it was really good, man. I thought it was really good. So that's, yeah, like I said, that was my favorite part of this whole promo segment here. These guys are fighting over a title match, yet they all had a fatal four-way match and all lost, so I don't know why any of these guys would be in contention and why Adam Pearce wouldn't be looking for new challengers for the belt, but okay. Again, you probably fucking need a draft, but, that's neither here or there. I guess they just want to stick with the same guys going for Rollins and his title here, so it is what it is, I guess.
Triple H, we're going to get the same section of guys facing each other for a while. And overall, I like the segment. I thought the Punk start of it was kind of awkward. Punk was just saying a whole lot of nothing.
Yes.
LA Knight came out. I like their chemistry. I think their chemistry is good. I liked when Jey came out. I think him and LA Knight kind of have nothing to, face each other with anymore. They kind of got that out of their system, so it is awkward with those two. I like Punk and Jey. I think they have a cool dynamic there. I like Punk and LA Knight. LA Knight and Jey, like I said, it's kind of already done for you. You really don't have nothing there. But all the same guys, are shooting for Seth still, and way Triple H works, I'm sure it's going to be like that for a while. Overall, I liked it. I think there was just awkward points in it.
No, I'm glad you went back and mentioned the beginning of that, because yeah, I did want to say Triple H has a problem with like I guess a lot of his top guys doing that. He does the same thing with Cody Rhodes all the time. And you
Yeah.
could even see him sort of sometimes happen, especially nowadays with like Drew McIntyre. They just come out there and talk about the most random bullshit known to man, or it's like they just talk about just slop. They just say a
Yeah.
bunch of words, and it just like they say nothing of substance. It's like they're just out there just fucking horsing around. It just seems like they're waiting for their fucking cue for somebody to interrupt them. He has a major problem they have a major problem with booking a lot of their promos to start off and just like you're just left asking, like, can you get to the fucking point already, man? Like, what the fuck? Like, what are you out here for? And then somebody interrupts them, and you're like, oh, okay, like, all right, there it is. They do have a problem with doing that a lot, I have noticed, and I'm glad you did mention that, because it definitely is something that I feel like we deal with. How could I forget the Seth Rollins, another one? I mean, they just go out
Yeah.
there and they reiterate the same stuff, or they just talk about a bunch of nothing. Like, dude, get to the
Yeah.
point. Like, what the fuck, man? I cannot stand that.
Exactly. No, I really can't. It's just a bunch of ramblings for the same old things every time.
So we have next we have Kairi Sane versus Io Sky. Before the match, Io did a little vignette. It was mostly in Japanese, pretty much just telling Asuka she's not, family anymore, and she tells Asuka at Crown Jewel, "You are not ready for Io Sky." There was a spot
Little
in this,
package.
no, for sure. There was a spot where Kairi Sane did an Alabama slam to Io Sky on the ring apron. I don't know who the
Oh,
fuck thought that was a good idea. That could have went very badly, very quick. So I don't. Again,
very
I don't know whose fucking genius idea that was, but whoever produced the match, I mean, what are you doing? Um,
Yeah, that was really awkward and very dangerous.
Um, Kairi Sane won with a roll up with Asuka holding Kairi's hands to the mat for leverage, and they attacked Io Sky afterwards. The stupid crowd was chanting for Rhea Ripley, even though earlier in the night Adam Pearce said that Rhea Ripley was in Australia doing media. So they were still
Literally.
chanting for Rhea for some fucking reason. Get a bunch of wrestling fans together, and that's what you get, a bunch of stupidity, I guess. But yeah, there you go. And yeah, she was uh she was attacked by the Kabuki Warriors after the match. So there you go.
Exactly.
We then get I will actually have to admit, we got a
I
very
like that.
nice vignette with Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. And what I loved most about this vignette is what I like to call is the Kevin Owens effect. What am I talking about, you may ask? Well, Seth Rollins got to talking about the bloodline, and they started talking about how, Rollins basically gave us a little deep dive into his mind on how he let Roman be, and he let him, run his empire over on SmackDown, and he was on Raw building up the World Heavyweight Championship. He then talked about how the bloodline then, they're inevitable. You cannot escape the bloodline. They eventually came over to Monday Night Raw and wanted to take all the air for themselves, and that is when he had to step in. He then talked about how, it was against his better judgment that he ended up having to help the guy that, beat him 3 times in a row in order to get the championship off the grasp of Roman Reigns. And what am I talking about when I say the Kevin Owens effect? Well, he then goes into a deep dive on how much it pissed him off that after everything they did to take down the bloodline, Cody Rhodes would like that team with Roman Reigns not less than 6 months after they took him out. And if you remember, that was the whole turning of the tides for Cody Rhodes. That's when everybody started to feel some type of way about Cody Rhodes, because Cody was the good guy. And then he teamed with Roman, and everybody, I mean, Kevin Owens, you know, we've seen it a little bit, and now we're seeing it with Seth Rollins. Everybody started to kind of switch up on Cody Rhodes because he wasn't a man of his word, man. He took out Roman Reigns just to ultimately, you know, help him in the end after all the fucked up things that Roman did to all of Cody's friends or ex-friends. Cody's excuse to this would be everybody deserves a second chance. Obviously, Cody's going to say that because he's a fucking Boy Scout, but I actually really like this. I thought it was a nice deep dive into the story, and I thought it was a nice deep dive into just the, you know, I guess what would make Rollins piss off at Cody Rhodes, and I guess both guys' perspectives. So I thought it was really nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. Overall, I liked it.
We then get a Becky Lynch backstage segment where she is talking frantically about, you know, losing to Maxine Dupree. She's obviously very annoyed by it. She then walks away. Seth, for the second week in a row, does not give a single flying fuck about what his wife has to say.
No.
He then tells Heyman we should talk. Heyman says, okay. Rollins says he needs to win at Crown Jewel. He says, but Paul, what if I don't win? Paul tries to, you know, bullshit him a little bit, and Rollins cuts him off and says, Paul, give it to me straight. What if I don't win? What happens? Paul says, you want it straight? If you lose the locker room. You lose the faith of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed and the faith that they have in your vision to carry the company in the future. He says you throw away everything. He says you throw away the Netflix era of Monday Night Raw being built around Seth freaking Rollins. He says you become a secondary champion. Yeah, this is why we don't do a Crown Jewel match, but I digress. He says,
Literally.
he says, so do me a favor and don't lose. He goes to walk away, but then Seth grabs him. He says, well, thank you, Paul, but I noticed something about your speech. He says, you left someone out of the equation. You left yourself out of the equation. He says, Heyman then, you know, he goes to bullshit Rollins a little bit more. And Rollins says, Paul, stop. Give me a straight answer. What if I lose to Cody Rhodes? Paul then says, okay. If you lose to Cody Rhodes, then I have no choice but to ask myself why I chose you over Roman Reigns.
Damn.
This is the best the Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins pairing has ever looked.
I was about to say the same thing.
This is literally the best because obviously the whole story is, you know, Seth Rollins is becoming Roman Reigns. You do not have to do it exactly how Paul and Roman was done. And what I mean by that is the whole story behind, you know, Roman Reigns is Paul Heyman would tell Roman Reigns a bunch of bullshit. He would tell him what he wanted to hear, and it made Roman Reigns so delusional, he actually believed it. And he had a bloodline to back him up. That dynamic cannot work with Seth Rollins, but what will work is this kind of shit. You can have Paul Heyman be honest, raw, and uncut with Seth Rollins to the point where it fuels Rollins' anger so much, it turns him into a monster. This can work. I'm telling you, this can work. If you continue to do shit like this, this is the best. This is the best these two have ever looked. And again, I think taking this approach rather than what you did with Paul and Roman, which again, Roman is the type of egotistical character you need to tell Roman what he wants to hear. Because when not, Roman's character gets startled. He gets insecure, if you will, in his own right. With Rollins, I think this is the perfect way to go, to the point where Rollins can want this brutal honesty because it's going to fuel him, and again, it's going to turn him into a monster. And that, I think, is the best way to go, and I think that's the best way for Heyman to differentiate himself with Rollins rather than Roman. I think this is the best they looked, and I think this is the way to go.
I think this is, and I completely agree with you. This is the best their dynamic has had since they've been together, and this is the dynamic you should be doing. It worked with Roman because, like you said, Roman's character needed, the kind of, the glazing, and I like that Heyman, keeps attempting it with Seth, but Seth don't want it. He tells him basically, stop just glazing, give me the truth. And I like that. I think it works with Seth. I think him being brutally honest and putting the weight on Seth's shoulders is not only what he needs, it's what he wants. And I think that dynamic works way better than him trying to do the exact same wise man shtick. But with Seth, this works way better. I loved this dynamic in this segment. I love, Seth telling, Paul Heyman to be honest. Be straight with him. Loved it. I hope this is what we get more of, and I hope he does this same thing with Seth, but for the other guys. Do it with Braun. Do it with Bronson. Stop just glazing them and doing the whole wise man shtick. Be brutally honest with all these guys. It'll be a much better dynamic.
I 100% agree, man. I think this is absolutely positively the way to go. And again, I think that there is no better option than what you have here. Because again, the Heyman stuff with Seth is just not clicking. If you want it to click, you gotta introduce a different dynamic. You know what I mean? The way Roman Reigns was with Paul Heyman is not the same way Paul Heyman was with Brock Lesnar. You know what I mean? You got to give Paul different dynamics to go off of. If Paul Heyman acted the same way he acted with Brock Lesnar with Roman Reigns, there would be no wise man, and it would have been canned because it wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked. But Paul Heyman almost damn near felt like a completely different character with Roman Reigns than he did with Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman felt like a different character with CM Punk that he was from Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns. And look at all the people that it didn't work for. There's a lot of people they put Paul Heyman with that it didn't work for because he tried to be the Brock Lesnar advocate to all these other guys, and it just didn't work. It didn't work. You got to give Paul different dynamics to work off of. You can't just, you can't just use the Brock Lesnar, or in this case, the Roman Reigns recycling bin, grab the fucking sheet of paper out of the bin, uncrumble it, and just use that. You can't do that. I think this is going to work if they continue to do this, and I think if they do this, you can actually have a really good dynamic here because it will obviously play into the story of him breaking up with Seth Rollins because he's going to eventually put so much pressure on Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins is going to feel so much pressure, he's going to crack. And once Seth cracks, Paul Heyman's going to dump him like a bad habit because that's his character. He's a scumbag, right? So it's going to work. It will work. It's just a matter of them introducing a new dynamic and, them getting over trying to have Heyman play the Roman character with Seth. So I think it'll work if they go down this route.
Exactly, and you could have this dynamic where he's doing, this kind of the same amount of pressure with all these guys, and the one it's working best on is Breaker, and then Seth is going to notice that. Heyman is definitely going to notice that, and like you said, when Seth cracks, he's going to have the one person that didn't crack, and that's going to be Braun. I think you could do it where Bronson doesn't crack, but I think no matter what, I think at the end of the day, at some point, Bronson's got to kind of go on his own. I think that's best, and I think the end game should be with Braun with Heyman, and I think that's the way you could do it, dude. Is Braun is the one that really takes that advice, doesn't crack, and when Seth does, Heyman notices that, and he makes his choice.
100%. 100%, bro. So keep it up. Keep that up, please. I think
Please,
this
please.
this actually got me excited. This segment actually got me excited for the future
Yeah,
of the Vision, cuz I'm like, dude, if we can get
this is what
stuff
we
like
need.
this all the time, this is what is needed, bro. This is literally what is needed, man, because it just wasn't working. It just wasn't.
No,
So the bloodline is backstage again. It's Roman and Jay. And Jay tells Roman, I just got punched in the face for no reason. Jimmy walks up and he asks Jay what's up. Jay says he was trying to run the play and handle business. He says he's trying to get his World Heavyweight Championship. And he asks Jimmy, are you protecting Punk? What are you doing? He tells him to recognize what side he's on. And he walks away. Jimmy, he yells at Jay as he's walking away, I'm on your side. So it's now Jimmy and Roman just standing there. Jimmy says, I got him all the time. He says, Roman, you see and hear everything. Well, so do I. He says, I see what you're doing to him. You're pulling the strings. You're messing with his mental. You got him thinking a certain way. He says and you got him going down a path he cannot go down on. He says, Roman, he is not you. Jay is nothing like you. Roman, hearing this, says, he says, I'm not hearing you, but you should listen to this. When your brother won the World Heavyweight Championship, he became more like me, less like you. If you really want to help your brother, sometimes you need to get out of his way.
right. My only concern, I really like this segment. I really did. My only concern with this story they're telling is something they're not going to do, and that's Jimmy explaining why it's bad that Jay goes down the Roman path, and all the bad things that Roman did. And at the end of the day, I think they all recognize that to an extent what Roman did was necessary, but I really hope they let Jimmy talk about how Roman ended up taking it too far, and that's why everything went downhill.
It's like they always mention, like, oh, Roman, you
Yeah,
tore the bloodline, but they never go into that. Like, are we
explain it.
stupid? Like, why are you not explaining, why is Jimmy not like, he always says, he doesn't need to go down your path. Talk about Roman's path.
But why?
Talk
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Talk about the path. Talk about, obviously you get the glory and the championships, but you tear our family apart. Like, why are we not discussing
Exactly.
these things?
I really hope they get to discussing that and they let Jimmy explain, at least to an extent, some of that, and then at least to an extent that at the end of the day, that's why the bloodline broke up. Is because Roman just took everything too far. And, they constantly say that, like, Heyman costed them, the bloodline. I really hope Jimmy, tells Roman, like, no, it was you at the end of the day that costed the bloodline. And I don't want Jay to do the same thing.
Exactly. I mean, there's so much history that they can go off of. It's like, why do you not expand on that? Like, that is literally a point in WWE history. Like, this is storylines that, again, fans are invested in, and why you wouldn't explain that, which, like, again, they do it every week. They're like, Jay doesn't need to go down your path, and he's not like you. Explain what you mean by that. I mean, explain it a little bit. You know, I mean, it doesn't,
Mhm.
it's not rocket science. I don't understand, man. But yeah, I mean, for the segment, you know, I did like it for the most part. Again, a lot of times they're just very vague with their characteristics on people. So
Mhm.
next up, we got AJ, Dragon Lee, and Penta versus JD McDonough, Dominic, and Finn.
Good lord. What?
Ru-
Okay.
Rusev comes out there and he chases Dominic. He grabs a hold of Dominic. Penta goes to super kick Dom, moves out of the way, so Penta hits Rusev. We then get a Styles Clash to JD McDonough for the victory.
I wonder what we're gonna get next week. I'm sure it's gonna be a Rusev and Penta match where Dominic screws over Rusev, and both guys are mad at Dominic.
Probably. And then we're going to get a triple threat with Rusev, Dominic, and Penta. Um,
Yep.
Probably at
Or
Survivor
Dominic's still gonna
Series.
win.
Yeah, literally.
Exactly.
So yeah, that there you go. There's that. And as for what this means for the tag titles, well, AJ Styles pinned a tag team champion, so I'm sure him and Dragon Lee are going to end up getting that match probably in 2 weeks on Monday Night Raw.
Probably.
So AJ Styles gets on the announce table after the match and he says, "Now that I got a second to talk, this match at Crown Jewel between AJ Styles and John Cena doesn't need a story. It writes itself. You got two men who will dance for the last time and leave it all in the ring. It will kick ass." As he gives John Cena's signature salute, as Dragon Lee and Pentagon are fucking marking out for this match on the top rope. There you go. There you go, man. So that was the final bit of build, I guess you get for the AJ Styles, and John Cena match. So, hey, man, I'm excited. I am seated. I hope this main events the show. Will it? Absolutely not. It'll probably open the show, knowing these fucktards. But
Yeah.
it's but a man can dream, and I really hope if they were smart, this is the match everybody cares about most. Nobody cares about Seth Rollins and Cody fucking Rhodes for the future of the company more than anybody cares about AJ Styles versus John Cena one last time.
Exactly, for the fucking three different reasons that, him and Cody are facing each other for the future of the company, for, Seth to, keep Paul Heyman and shit and keep the good graces and faith of everybody. I know how Crown Jewel is gonna end. Seth, I think overall is gonna win. There's gonna be a Seth Ryder jumping of Cody Rhodes. Randy Orton's gonna come in for the save. Look at the title while he's helping Cody Rhodes and fucking call it a night. The Cena match really should close, but it won't. It probably will open, unfortunately. But love this little AJ promo, man. Especially that salute at the end. That was such a cool touch.
It was. It was, bro. It was. I'm excited to see it, man. I'm excited to see it. So we got CM Punk and LA Knight in the back. Punk goes up to LA. He says, "I don't want this match. You don't want this match. But whatever gets me closer to the World Heavyweight Championship." LA Knight says, "Okay, I get it. But all I ask is for you not to get pinned." And he walks
Yeah.
off. Punk obviously looks visibly upset. We then go into the main event. CM Punk and LA Knight versus the Usos. Jay Uso is on the top rope, and he goes, to give a Uso splash to LA Knight, or he goes to give a Uso splash to CM Punk. He then jumps off of the top rope and runs over to LA Knight and hits him. And as soon as he turns around, CM Punk is already up, and he gets hit with a GTS. Punk stumbles into his tag corner. LA Knight tags himself in just to pin Jey Uso and secure the victory for himself. This man, LA Knight's trying to stat pad. He's trying to make himself undeniable in the eyes of Triple H, man. He's trying to impress Triple H back there. I'm sure this is just going to play into the story between LA Knight and Jey Uso. So as if they haven't already faced each other for like 6 times on Monday Night Raw ever since LA Knight went over
Next
there.
week.
Yeah, literally. So there's that. But yeah, yeah, honestly, I thought the ending to this Monday night was kind of flat. It was kind of just LA Knight just standing on the apron, just laughing as CM Punk was yelling at him from inside the ring. But yeah, I mean, it was, again, I thought it was just pretty like okay. I can see what this is going to result in. It's probably going to result in a fucking Jey Uso and LA Knight match next week. So it definitely didn't get me excited for next week. So if that's what they were going for, they fucking failed miserably. But that was Monday Night Raw, man. That was Monday Night Raw.
Exactly. Main event was really kind of just a nothing, generic Raw main event, man. So it was fine. I like that. I like that LA Knight got a win, and I like the way he did it. But it's just setting more of these, these three people's beef against each other, and then Jey Uso's internal beef with his family. So it's cool. I'm sure we're gonna get something similar next week, man. But overall, Raw was a good episode of the Bloodline and Bailey and Lyra.
And
Yeah.
Paul Heyman. Shout out
Yeah,
Paul
and
Heyman,
Paul,
bro.
you know what?
He showed
And
out.
Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins, dude. Those two
Wow.
actually had a good segment, and I like their fucking dynamic. Please, for the love of God, keep it up. Please, I'm begging you. Please.
I can't believe
They won't.
I can't believe we're saying that, bro. I actually can't believe we're
I know.
saying that. They did a great job, and even the little segment with Seth Rollins talking about how much Cody teaming with Roman had an effect on him. I love the butterfly effect of that decision. I do a
Mm-hmm.
lot. I think that's a great touch, but Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins, bro, what a kick-ass segment. What a kick-ass segment. I'm very shocked that segment turned out that good. But yeah, that's everything, dude. That is everything. So that is going to do it for this edition of NHP Unscripted, man. This has been episode 268 of the news. And with that, what am I talking about? 268 of Unscripted. What the fuck am I talking about?
There you go.
And with that being said, thank you guys so very much for joining us. Everybody who joined us here today. We got Manager Logan. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Gotti. We got OG in chat. We got, where was he? I think I seen... We got Ribshot, and I thought there was someone else in here. David Rosca. Thank you guys so very much for joining us, and Firebars. Thank you guys, as always, for joining us. Everybody in the live chat, and my guys, a part of the Replay Mafia, JT and JB. Thank you guys, as always, for joining us. It's been always a pleasure for my Johnny.
And I, Sir K.
And that is going to do it for this edition of NHP. Another edition of Unscripted. This has been episode 268. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you all on Friday with the news and the Crown Jewel Perth 2025 predictions.
Peace.